midfield area for the coin toss. And right now, let's go down to the field level and Connie Jordan.
All right, gentlemen, the captains for Gaffney are Bradshaw Littlejohn, Brandon Peeler, Jeff Littlejohn, and Billy Smith. We'll be listening to referee Philip Williams here as he introduces the players, and we have the coin toss.
Captain Smith, gentlemen, you're shaking hands. Good job. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's game. I'm Mr. Williams. I'll be your referee for tonight's game. If you'll back up just a little bit, let me introduce our other officials for tonight. Working as our back judge, we're going to have Mr. Irwin. Working as our line judge, I got Mr. Patterson. Mr. Bullard is going to be our linesman, and Mr. Lane will be our umpire. Now, gentlemen, you already know that we've already had the toss, and that Gaffney won the toss, and they desired to receive. You'll be kicking off in that direction. You'll be defending it.
All right, there you go, guys. Gaffney has won the toss and elected to receive. So when we come back, the Indians will go on offense. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM, Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Welcome back to the reservation. Just a few ticks away from tonight's opening kickoff of the 1999 season. It is the last of the 90s as we head to a new millennium. Looking down on the playing surface, 80th year. The tradition continues here in Gaffney. Now back over to Fabian Fuentes with tonight's kickoff, brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the new 1999 Expeditions.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. And once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the first Friday night of Gaffney High School football in the 1999 year. Tonight's game is the 886th in Gaffney football history. The Indians have won 594 of those games and outscored the opponents 17,173 to 9,443 over the previous 886 games. Respective teams heading onto the playing surface here at the reservation. The Huss kickoff will travel right to left across your radio dial. The Gaffney Indians dressed in the customary black jerseys, Vegas gold pants with the black helmets this year. A little change in the helmets this year versus the flat black paint job. A little bit of metallic in the helmet painting this year. Keon Gerdner and Brian Martin, the return men for the Indians. Brian returned a couple of kickoffs for touchdowns last year. Brandon Perry tees the ball up at the Husky 40-yard line. In the 99 season, just seconds from getting underway. The Huskies and the Indians. Gaffney looking to win its 8th consecutive season-opening game. Approached in a high end-over-end kick in the season's underway. Keon Gerdner inside the 5, left sideline. Out across the 10, 15, number of black jerseys ahead of him. Keon in the clear across the 35 to the 40, steps out of a tackle, stays on his feet to the 50, breaks another tackle at the Husky 40-yard line, angling right side and tackled at the Hunter Huss 36-yard line. Keon Gerdner on the return.
Finally brought down there, Fabian, by Curtis Hughes. Actually, Torrey Farr got him around the 50, bumped him, couldn't move. He managed to gain a few more yards, and then that's when Hughes came in there.
Now 60 yards unofficially on the return by Gerdner. The Indian offense straight to the line of scrimmage will set the starting lineups after this play. Gaffney up to the line with 3 wides and a slot to the right. I formation. Brandon Byers, the up back. He's offset to the left. Martin, the deep back. Bradshaw Littlejohn under center. 7 gets a snap, turns, hands to Martin, trying to sweep the left side and tackled behind the line of scrimmage back near the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's where he's dropped by Edward Bird.
Well, the Gaffney offense, the quarterback, Bradshaw Littlejohn, the senior. The backs behind him, a change here. Brandon Byers starting at the fullback spot. The tailback is Brian Martin. The wide receivers, Tron Thompson, Brandon Peeler, and Jackie Leach. Leach will also line up as a tight end. On the offensive line on the left side, Philip Hufstedt with a tackle, Adam Gilbert the guard, the center Brad Beatty, the lone returnee up front, Matt Robertson and Jay Love the right guard and tackle respectively. It is 2nd down and 12 for the Indians according to the scoreboard from the Huss 33. Bradshaw the snap from the shotgun on the quarterback draw up to the 30, has 2 white jerseys in front of him. Bradshaw breaks a tackle, stays on his feet to the 21, tries to break another tackle, pushes to the 20. Now the football knocked away from Bradshaw, right sideline, and recovered by the Indians back near the 23-yard line.
Well, Gary Brown managed to break that play up. He had a very tough time bringing him to the surface. He tried to wrestle him down by the sleeve of his left jersey, or his jersey on the left side.
Well, I'll give Bradshaw a gain of about 8 yards on that one. So 3rd down and 2. First possession of the game for Gaffney. 3 wides and a slot to the left side. The wide side of the field. I set Martin at deep back. Martin last year better than 500 yards, and our first penalty marker of the night is the left defensive tackle jumps into the neutral zone, and the yellow flags on the turf. So this should give Gaffney a 1st down. Once again, our referee, Philip Williams, is Mike tonight. Does he remember to turn it on? Preliminary indication, encroachment against the Huskies. Gaffney will take that. 1st and 10 for the Tribe. And here's Mr. Williams. So 5 yards marched off, I should say, against the Huskies. At defensive front for Huss, the ends are Mark Anderson, Jermaine Brown. The tackles Jerry Friday and Jacob Green. And the nose guard is Marcus Garvin. Gary Brown and Edward Bird, the linebackers. 1st and 10, Gaffney at the Huss 18-yard line. Ball spotted right hash mark. Keon Gerdner now in the game at the fullback spot. Remember, he had the 60-yard kickoff return. Bradshaw the snap turns, hands it to deep back Brian Martin, trying to work left, cuts back inside for maybe 1 to the 17. 2nd down and long coming up for the Tribe.
Well, Gary Brown in there again.
Brown, one of the all-region players back on this Huss defense. Finishing off the starting lineups, the corners are Curtis Hughes and Torrey Farr, and the safeties Brian Tate and Jamar McCoy. Starting lineups brought to you by Patterson's Wrecker Service, located 201 West Cherokee Street in Blacksburg. Call 839-2484 for Patterson's Wrecker Service. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for the Tribe. Line of scrimmage to the Huss 18. Bradshaw from the shotgun again. 4 wide. 7 looking to throw as he gets the snap. We set up the screen left. Caught by Keon Gerdner. 3 with room to run to the 15. He's to the 10. Cuts back left to the 5. And he's in for the end zone. Touchdown, Gaffney. So the Indians go 35 yards. And it's Keon Gerdner with the 18-yard touchdown reception from Bradshaw Littlejohn. And the Indians have drawn that first blood 6-0. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to the near side, his first PAT call of the season, Lonnie Jordan.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Rob Heim will do the kicking this year for the Gaffney Indians. His holder will be Keon Gerdner. The snapper in these situations is Trent Richburg. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it's just underneath the crossbar. No good. 9:27 left in the first period. It's Gaffney 6, Hunter Huss nothing. This scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. This is Gaffney Indian football.
On in and try McDonald's 2 all-new hamburgers. One's a large, approximately 1/3 pound hamburger with lettuce and tomato, and all the trimmings called the McDonald's Big Extra. Another new sandwich is the 1/3 pound hamburger with 3 large strips of bacon called the McDonald's Big Bacon. Come on in and try one of these all-new delicious hamburgers at McDonald's.
Somebody say McDonald's.
Now back at the reservation, 6-0 Gaffney. Special teams always play a key in early season ball games, and certainly here the Gaffney scoring drive, 35 yards set up by the 60-yard kick return by Keon Gerdner, who caught the screen pass from Bradshaw Littlejohn and scampered 18 yards for a score. A Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Explorers. Rob Heim with a football teed up at the Gaffney 40-yard line. This kick will travel left to right across your radio dial. Frank Patterson, one of the 2 back deep, along with Brian Tate. High end over end kick, drifting left sideline. Caught inside the 5 by Patterson. 2 out across the 10, number of black jerseys in his face, and 2 wrestled down up near the 14-yard line.
Tron Dawkins in on the stop for the Indians. Of course, you remember Tron, an outstanding player from last year.
Yeah, part of that secondary that picked off 24 passes a year ago. Checking that Gaffney defense, the ends are Billy Smith and Trey Wood. The strong tackle, Jeff Littlejohn. The nose guard, Anthony Littlejohn. Jeff Littlejohn, the lone returnee up front. The three linebackers in his new 4-3 scheme for the Tribe, Dory Brown, Justin Ness, and Darrell Richburg. The corners, Roger Logan and Tron Dawkins. And the safeties are Roy Dawkins and B.J. Dover. First down and 10, Huss from its 14-yard line. Opening play for the Huskies. Two wides to each side, I set. Ryan, the quarterback, gets the snap. Short drop, looking right, fires right sideline. Overthrown and intercepted. And the tackle made up near the 39-yard line. I think it might have been Dover, Dennis, that came away with a pick.
Yeah, it was. Dover reached up there. B.J. Dover reached up there. I think he jumped about 2 feet off the surface and got it.
I'll tell you what, you have to like that. We had just mentioned that secondary had picked off 24 passes last year, one play, and come away with a pick here in 99. So the worst case scenario here for Steve Gardner and his Huskies over on that sideline, already down 6-0, and now Gaffney starts for the second time in as many drives in Husky territory. Down at the 39-yard line. Our first drive, a scoring drive, started from the Huss 35. Got 4 wides, twins to each side. Bradshaw up under center. Blown back is Brandon Byers, 3-point stance. Bradshaw to snap, straight drop. Pocket collapses. Bradshaw running with the football. 7 positive yardage to the 35 and then slammed to the turf down near the 30-yard line. About a yard shy of the first down. Give Bradshaw a gain of 7.
Yeah, Husky Brain Tate in there. He managed to escape a couple. It was chastening Jerry Friday for one.
Well, Coach Montgomery patrolling the Gaffney sidelines, 9th season at the helm of the Indians program. 85-29 over his previous 8 years. Steve Gardner in his 3rd season at Huss, 11-12. Second down, a short one for Gaffney. Nose of the football at the Huss 31-yard line. Trip to the right side. Bradshaw the snap. Here's the pitch sweep near side to Keon. Keon turned it back inside and tackled short of the first down at about the 30-yard line. 3rd and inches coming up.
Credit Edward Bird with that tackle. You're just tuning in 6-0. Indians on top.
Yeah, Gaffney going 35 yards. Bradshaw and Keon Gardner connecting on an 18-yard screen pass, scoring it for a touchdown, and got a player going off to the far sideline for Huss. It's Edward Bird. They did have some number changes. In fact, I thought we figured out Bird was going to be wearing 42, but he's in 40. I set slot right. Bradshaw the snap, gives it off to the fullback Byers on the inside handoff. He has the first down, but he's fumbled the football down at the 26, and Huss has recovered. So the teams trade turnovers. So Gaffney unable to capitalize after coming away with an interception at the Husky 39-yard line. A few plays later, Gaffney fumbles the football back.
Well, one of the things that Coach Montgomery talked to me about in the pregame show tonight, and that was a lot of pressure on this team to prove to the people below us tonight that they are good players. And they'll have so much on them, like, you know, the nerves that will play into this game tonight.
Well, second possession for Huss, slot left. I set. Ryan gets the snap, miscommunication, handoff in the backfield. Football is loose inside the 20, and guess what? The Vegas and Black has the football back. Oh, this thing's starting to take on the first game jitters here. 3 turnovers here in the early going. 7:47 remaining in the opening quarter. Gaffney gets the football back, up 6-0, and now we'll start down at the 19-yard line. So that's what now? 3 possessions. The Gaffney, all 3 possessions starting deep in Huss territory.
Credit Justin Ness with that recovery for the Indians.
So the Indians up 6-0. Offense trotting back onto the field. Bradshaw, our quarterback from the shotgun, 2 wide outs each side. Bradshaw gets the snap, has to reach out with the left hand to corral it. Here's a corner pattern, right corner of the end zone, going for Brandon Peeler, and this one is incomplete, nearly intercepted, but I think it was McCoy that had the football, but he was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Yeah, he caught it out of the end zone.
So 2nd and long coming up. Well, Bradshaw moved into the starting quarterback role in week 10 last year. Proceeded to go, I think it was 5-1 in those starts. The only loss in the state championship game. Bradshaw with 10 touchdown passes in a postseason a year ago. No interceptions. Overall for the year, completed nearly 46% of his passes, and they're going to Brandon Peeler, who led the team with 18 receptions last year. Did 13, who had 4 touchdown receptions in Jamboree play last week. So we'll try it again. 2nd and 10 at the Huss 19-yard line. Bradshaw from the shotgun, trying to run the option to the right behind the right side. Pitch back to Brian Martin, blocking on the perimeter. Brian to the 10, angling near side, driven out of bounds at the 6-yard line. A late hit, penalty marker thrown in there. And half the distance to the goal will be marched off against Hunter Huss. More than likely a late hit coming up here.
That late hit came from Jermaine Brown.
And it is. Well, game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe. That's where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. 3 turnovers here in the first 4:27 of the opening quarter of play. And now we have a timeout taken by Huss. We'll take it. 7:33 to go in the opening quarter. Gaffney first and goal when we come back and leading 6-0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Money magic. Making money appear like magic isn't going to happen, but we can help you make the most of your hard-earned money. Visit any branch to find out the kind of magic we can work for you. Where? First Piedmont. 3 locations in Gaffney, 2 in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Nobody does it better than we do at First Piedmont Federal. Our prime interest is you.
Well, back at the reservation, along with Dennis Fowler, Kalani Jordan down on the sideline, Fabian Fuentes. Boy, football teams get to have preseason jamborees and scrimmages, and our debut, our first workout of the season's the opener.
Straight out of the gate. We just sit down and do the thing. Not without a lot of prep, though. How long have we been preparing for this thing, Fabian? About, what, 4 or 5 weeks now?
Yeah, you've been putting equipment together all week. Still making some adjustments as we came onto the air tonight. So here we go. Teams back on the field after the Huss timeout. 6-0 Gaffney, 7:33 to go. First quarter of play. First and goal for the Tribe at the 3-yard line. Gertner and Martin in the eye for Gaffney. 3 wides, got a slot to the right, and now markers come in, moving on both sides of the line that time. Though the Huss front saying that the Gaffney offensive line moved first. And false start against Gaffney. Last year, the Indians won this matchup 50-6, but as you heard in Dennis's interview with Coach Montgomery, that was a 15-6 football game at the half. But the Indians have dominated this series, having won the previous 5 meetings, 228-34. Of course, the Indians have been dominant all time on opening night, opening day, if you will, having won 67 of 79 openers. So first and goal from out at the 8-yard line. Ball spotted right hash mark. Slot to the left, wide side of the field. That's Tron Thompson in the slot. Keon Gertner and Brian Martin in the eye. Bradshaw gets the snap. Short trip. Fires quick slant. Caught. Goal line. Touchdown. Gaffney. Jackie Lynch. 6 on the reception. Jackie's only reception came in this matchup last year. Only reception of the year for 12 yards. And here Jackie comes through with a touchdown reception of 6 yards. So Bradshaw Littlejohn's second touchdown pass of the night. Keep in mind, Bradshaw last year had 3 touchdown receptions against the Huskies. Turning around and throwing the football this year. And the Indians will go for that 2-point conversion, up 12-0. Keep in mind, Gaffney missed the first PAT. Littlejohn from the shotgun. 4 wide, strips to the right. Martin flanked to the right of Bradshaw. 7 awaits the snap and gets it. Slight roll to the right. Now tries to head up the field. Has green grass to the left to run, and he's across the goal line. Touchdown. That was a horrible play-by-play call, the 2-point conversion. But the important thing is we got the 2, and it's 14-0 Gaffney. 7:31 to go in the opening quarter. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard in Gaffney. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Carolina Vision Associates in the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney is your complete eyeglass headquarters. They can tint your glasses, make glasses from an old pair, they carry in-stock contact lenses, and you can always bring in your doctor's prescription or make an appointment to see a doctor in their store by calling 489-2016. So for fast service at reasonable prices on optical services for the entire family, visit Carolina Vision Associates. In the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney, your complete optical headquarters, that's Carolina Vision Associates of Gaffney.
Well, 14-0 is the Gaffney lead. 7:31 remaining in the opening quarter. Gaffney scoring drives of 35 and now 19 yards. Rob Heim, the football teed up. This kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. It's Tatum Patterson back deep for the Huskies, and Heim gets a hold of this one. A high and deep end over end kick. Patterson from the 2, racing to the middle of the field across the 5 to the 10 to the 15, and tackled in a maze of black jerseys up at the 20-yard line. So a kick return unofficially of 19 yards for Frank Patterson.
B.J. Dover in on the tackle for the Indians. Dover did a good job catching up to him. He was the guy on the bottom. You talked about the host of black jerseys, the guy that probably was dragged a couple of feet.
Well, B.J.'s come up with a couple of big plays here in the early going of this game. Had the interception on the Huskies' first play from scrimmage. B.J. number 21, a 6-foot junior. Now the Huskies a little slow getting out of that huddle, and the guys in white and blue will have to burn another timeout, and we'll take it 7:27 to go in what has been a slow-moving first quarter. It's 14-0 Indians. This is Gaffney Indian football.
The Frame Depot and the Milo Shopping Center Gaffney is proud to announce the arrival of D. Morgan's 1999 Christmas print Christmas present, now in stock and available to you. And you'll also find arriving daily new Civil War art by Mort Kunstler and Don Troiani. And a special good through September 4th, buy any print and receive double matting absolutely free for custom framing and art. Don't forget the Frame Depot in the Milo Shopping Center, 1107 West Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Well, the 1999 high school football season getting underway tonight at the Reservation. 7:27 to go in the first quarter. It's been all Gaffney as the Indians lead Hunter Huss of Gastonia 14-0. As we come back to play, Huss having to burn its second time out. 1st and 10 for the Huskies from their 20-yard line. I formation. Ryan, the quarterback, up under center, gets the snap, short drop as he's blitzed, fires on the slant, and this is caught up the 30-yard line, and a tackle made up near the 31-yard line. Reception made by Domenico Burris.
Tron Dawkins initially hit him and then had some help there from Roy Dawkins.
Well, you can see the scheme right now by Huss, and they've seen the preseason films, and Coach Gardner was here in attendance for the Jamboree a week ago tonight. But the quarterback, Bo Ryan, taking a 2-step drop, getting rid of the football quickly, and that's because of the pass rush that this Gaffney defense displayed in the preseason. So 1st and 10 for Huss from its 31-yard line. High set slot right. There's the snap and the quick inside handoff to the fullback, barreling his way up to the 38-yard line. In about 7 yards goes Brandon Lindsay. 5'9", packs a load at 210 pounds. He's a sophomore.
Terrence Dukes and B.J. Dover in on the tackle. 14-0. The Indians lead it. If you're just tuning in to the broadcast tonight, it's nice to have you with us for another edition of Friday Night Football as we kick off a new season. Our fall season begins.
Yes, and I'll tell you, it seems like the season just ended yesterday, but back at it tonight. So 2nd down and 3 for Huss from its 38-yard line. Ryan changing some things up at the line of scrimmage. Man, they've got wholesale substitutions in there now. Mark Anderson, a reserve fullback, lining up at the tight end to the right. Now penalty marker tossed in there. Seen a few flags here in the early going. This time our referee, Philip Williams, tossed that one, delay a game against the Huskies.
Big game on white. 2nd down, still.
Well, there he is, Philip Williams, the referee. Let's run down this crew tonight. The umpire, Bill Lane, the back judge, Al Irwin, the line judge, Mike Patterson, and the linesman is Harold Bullard. So 2nd and 8 for Huss from its 33-yard line. Gaffney with 4 down linemen in a 3-point stance. The snap, the turn to give to the deep back. Tackled after a gain of maybe 1 as he tried to work the left side. Gary Brown with nothing doing there.
Well, he was really hit. Anthony Littlejohn. Littlejohn is only a freshman, 6'2", 270 pounds.
And the thing about Littlejohn is he is cut. I mean, he is a big kid. 3rd down and 6. The Huskies from their 34, ball spotted right hash mark. Huss working right to left here in the opening quarter of play. Gaffney pinching up in the line of scrimmage. Here comes the blitz. Short drop. Quick pass left side. Down to seam. Intercepted again by B.J. Dover. He's at the Gaffney 47 and wrestled down to the turf by the intended receiver. And a penalty marker up the field. Little rough stuff going on in front of the referee, Philip Williams. But Gaffney will have the football at its 46-yard line. 3rd turnover of the night registered by the Gaffney defense in the 2nd interception for B.J. Dover.
Yeah, Nicholas Durham was the guy doing a little roughing there.
And this against the Tribe. Defensive coordinator Mike Biddix about 10 yards out on the field trying to find out what the story is on that. But Gaffney does have the football back, leading 14-0.
Well, you know, the Indians got a penalty because the coaches were out on the field out at Williams-Brice Stadium. Do you recall that?
Yeah, and that was also the time on the final drive when they forgot to stop the clock when our guy went out of bounds.
Yep, same one.
Of course, FCC forbids me to say what I think about a lot of scenarios in that game. So 1st and 10 for Gaffney from its 30. Ball right hash mark. Bradshaw, the snap from the shotgun. The Gaffney quarterback has time. Floats a pass over the middle. Deflected in the secondary and incomplete. Keon Gardner, the intended receiver, out of the backfield.
Gary Brown sort of tipped it with the tip of his fingers, and that's what caused things to go awry.
Well, only 4 starters or 4 seniors in the starting lineup for Gaffney tonight. You know, Coach Montgomery and his staff faced with about the same scenario of events coming into this 99 season as we were going into the 97 season. At the end of 96, we lost 37 seniors. Well, after last year, Gaffney lost, I think it was some 28 seniors, and a lot of changes on the coaching staff that documented in the pregame show tonight. Indian football warm-up. 2nd and 10 for Gaffney from its 31. Littlejohn from the shotgun. Here comes the rush. He throws a short pass up the field. Caught by Keon Gardner at the line of scrimmage. Hit, fumbles the football at the 29, and Huss is recovered.
Recovery made by Jerry Friday.
Well, Keon, I don't know that you can blame him on that one. He had his back turned to the defense when he made the reception, and then, I mean, just got his bell rung and ended up coughing up the football. So unofficially now, I think it's 5 turnovers in this football game combined for these teams. Huss with 3, Gaffney with 2, both fumbles. So the Huskies down 14-0. Start at the Gaffney 29-yard line. Ryan up under center, wide out right. There's a snap. Give it off to the fullback, Lindsey. Tackled at the line of scrimmage as he tried to take it right into the teeth of that defense, and that's tough to do when you got a pair of guys that average 280 pounds.
Anthony Littlejohn in on that, and of course we talked about him just a couple of plays ago.
Yeah, you mentioned height and weight on him, but lining up next to him, Jeff Littlejohn, 6'2" and 285 pounds. Jeff, a junior, and the only returnee up front. This defense hit hard by graduation last year. 3 players that appeared in or had made postseason rosters. I think 1 to the Shrine Bowl and a pair to the North-South. 2nd down and 11 for Huss from the 30. Ryan the snap, running the option behind the right side. Pitch back trying to get it to Brown, who makes the catch on the juggle and ridden out of bounds. Visitor sideline at about the 25-yard line. Give him a gain of about 5. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Well, he was bobbling the ball just as Roger McIntosh tried to bump him a little bit, and then that didn't work, so Roy Dawkins came in and sort of sealed it shut.
Yeah, McIntosh has been an impressive player preseason for this Gaffney team. Number 24 making his way off to the Gaffney sideline. He's seen a little bit of everything in the preseason. Lined up at tailback. Also saw considerable action at the linebacker spot. 6'3", 195 pounds. He is a junior. It is 3rd down and 5 for the Huskies down at the Gaffney 25. Ball spotted right hash mark. I set Lindsey the up back, Brown the deep back. Single wide left. There's the snap. Ryan straight drop. First time we've seen that tonight. Swing pass left side. Caught behind the line of scrimmage by Brian Tate. Nifty move as he breaks a tackle and drives down to the 20-yard line before he's hauled down from behind. That's short of the first down by about a yard. 4th down coming up.
Got by Tron Thompson, and Billy Smith finally brought him to the turf.
And Tate with a nice open field move that time, and Huss will go for it. 4th down and 1. Now keep in mind the Huskies have already burned 2 timeouts. We have 3:25 clock in motion at the time remaining here in the opening quarter. Now the Huskies are going to have to burn a 3rd timeout. All those here in the opening 12 minutes of play, and we'll take the break. Huss on the move, 14-0 Gaffney. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Buford Street True Value and Home Medical. 101 North Bernard Street in Gaffney, South Carolina is now open to serve you. They're open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, on Saturdays from 8 till 6. Closed on Sundays. Full-service hardware store. You'll find the same employees you've dealt with for many years. Electrical, plumbing, painting, and gifts, too. Toys and houseware section, all available. And don't forget the post office, too. Buford Street True Value.
Well, back at Bob Brabant Field at WK Brumbach Stadium, known statewide as the Reservation. 3:21 remaining opening quarter. 14-0 is a Gaffney lead, but Huss with a 4th and 1 at the Gaffney 20-yard line. This game in the opening quarter has featured 5 turnovers, 3 of those from Huss. Here we go, 4th and a yard. Ryan up under center, gets a snap, looking to throw. Bootleg to the right, firing into the flat, and this caught, ball popped loose, but they're going to say the receiver down by contact inside the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Huskies.
Well, he was down. He was hit pretty hard by Dory Brown of the Indians, but he got up. I thought for a minute he was complaining with his left knee. Looked up at the official as if to say, I need some time, but he did jump on up there.
Now, great concentration that time. McCoy running off to that Huss sideline. Had 1 catch in last year's game for 20 yards, but that was it. So Huss knocking on the door, 1st and 10, so they can get a 1st down, I believe, without punching it in. Now we've got movement on both sides of the ball. Ryan, the quarterback, his penalty markers are in there. Ryan kind of moved that head a little bit and that upper body, which kind of drew the Gaffney defensive right side off, as well as the left side of that Huss offensive line. And this should go against the Huskies. And it does. False start against Huss. A reminder, 10:30 tonight, Stan Olenek with the high school football scoreboard show. Of course, may come your way a little bit later than 10:30 at the rocket pace we're hitting on right here. Approaching 8:30 and still have 2:56 to go, 1st quarter. It is 1st and goal now for Huss, back out at the 14. There's a snap given off to the fullback Lindsey, straight up the gut to the 5. 2 jerseys hanging on and tackled down at the 2-yard line. Quick hitter to Brandon Lindsey, and the 5'9", 210-pound sophomore just pulled his way inside the 3. From there, 2nd down and goal for Huss. Trailing this ball game 14-0. Gaffney scoring drives covering some 35 yards. Then after the Keon Gertner 60-yard kickoff return, the other Gaffney drive covering 19 yards. Bradshaw Littlejohn, an 18-yard pass to Gertner for the 1st score, and then a 8-yard pass to Jackie Leach. There's a snap, the handoff to the deep back, gets hit in the backfield, fumbles the football back near the 9-yard line, but Huss has recovered and brings up 3rd and goal from out near the 8 or perhaps 9-yard line.
And the recovery made almost immediately by Bo Ryan.
One of the things we see here tonight, Coach Biddix constantly substituting players in and out of that defense. Coming out of the ball game, Terrence Dukes, Brad Studevance, a junior DB, heading into the game. So 3rd down and goal from the 8-yard line. Now an official's timeout on the field. Justin Ness, our middle linebacker, with Gaffney defensive coordinator Mike Biddix. Is Justin coming in? Is he not? Biddix grabs the backside of 43's jersey, and now Justin coming in. Bring in the linebacker and bring out B.J. Fowler, 75, 6'3" and 295 pounds is number 75. Brian Tate is now the deep back for the Huskies. There's a snap. Ryan back to pass, rolling out right sideline. Passing, deflected, and incomplete. Nearly a tiptoe catch made on that right sideline by McCoy, but all goes for naught. So 4th down and goal from out at the 8-yard line.
Good work there by Gaffney's Dory Brown.
Well, Huss has converted 1 4th down on this drive, going for it here. Nicholas Durham, senior flanker, coming into the ball game now with the play call. 11 lines up as a wide out to the left, and McCoy to the right. Tate remains the deep back behind Brandon Lindsey. Ryan surveys the Gaffney defense, 4 down linemen. There's a snap. Ryan straight trap, looking to throw from his 15. Fires right sideline. This is caught, but we drive McCoy out of bounds. And Huss will turn the football over on downs, though Gaffney will start from about its 5-yard line. But how about a hand for that Gaffney defense?
Dory Brown, good job when he made that approach. He just sort of jumped as if he were going to jump on his back.
Well, Huss started that drive from the Gaffney 29-yard line following the fumble recovery. But the Gaffney defense rises to the challenge and preserves the 14-0 lead. 80 seconds remaining in the opening half of play. Well, Coach Montgomery said he likes to go deep 10 times a football game. I kind of smell a deep one, perhaps, if we get a little bit of breathing room out of the end zone here. 1st and 10 from about our 5. I set. Bradshaw the snap, turns, hands it off to Brian Martin, running over the left side. There's 20 through the line, across the 25. He steps out of a tackle to the 25. He's across the 30 and tackled from behind up near the 37-yard line. Brian Martin rumbles his way for a gain of about 32 yards.
Rolling tackle made by Brian Tate, or Brain Tate, of Hunter Huss.
And a Husky slow to get up to the turf. Officials timeout.
And let's take time out for this injury update. It is brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic in Gaffney. 104A Professional Park. Now down to the sidelines. And here's Clowney Jordan.
All right, guys, we talked earlier with Coach Gardner about the heat and the humidity out here. And I think that's what we have in this situation. Of course, when it gets hot like that and it's humid, you lose a lot of body fluids out there perspiring. And this is definitely a case of the leg cramps. You're going to see a lot of that out here tonight with the temperatures like they are. On both sides at the trainers' tables, you'll see a lot more types of sports drinks and water than you would normally see in game 5 or 6 in the season.
Well, Clowney, that appears to me that it's number 22, is it not, Fabian?
Torrey Farr.
Torrey Farr.
The left side starting corner for us, who had to make the tackle that time. Training staff on the field tending to him. 1:10 remaining in the opening quarter. It's 14-0.
And remember, when an injury puts you along the sidelines, contact the sports medicine experts, Drs. Frank Phillips, Richard Gardner, and Walter Grady at Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic there in Gaffney at 487-5823. In fact, I saw Dr. Phillips down there on the sidelines a moment ago.
Yeah, I had to go solicit their services back in the spring. Wrenched the back. They came at me with one of those big-time, good-sized needles.
Yeah, about a number 6.
Wow, I had to have the nurse come in there and hold my hand.
Give you a teddy bear?
No, they didn't give me a teddy bear. I walked out there with a few tears in my eyes. Well, Farr helped off the field. Teams at the line of scrimmage and ready to go. 1st down and 10. Gaffney from its 37-yard line. Bradshaw, our quarterback, from the shotgun. 7 gets the snap. Has some time to throw. Going to air it out down the right sideline. Going for Jackie Leach into double coverage and overthrown. 2 white jerseys against Leach that time. And the pass is incomplete.
Mitchell Lawrence and Jamar McCoy. 2-1 there.
Well, we figured we'd see some rotating on that offensive line tonight. Already see a few. Brian Millwood, 70, has checked into the ball game. Philip Huffstetler, 60, still in the contest. Brad Beatty, the only returnee up front this year, about to get over the football to snap it back. And officials timeout. Equipment malfunction with one of the Huss ball players. Umpire having to do a little bit of uniform maintenance there. Bill Lane. 2nd down and 10 for Gaffney once we get this equipment malfunction taken care of. And now we're ready to go. One of those big defensive linemen. Might have been Marcus Garvin, 63, the nose guard. Gaffney with 3 wide, slot left. Gardner and Martin in the eye. Bradshaw the snap, straight drop. Going to hand it off on the draw to Martin. Steps out of a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, out across the 45 to the 50. Stutter step move, stays on his feet near side and out of bounds at the Huss 40-yard line. Nifty move once again by Brian Martin.
Well, they're going to say that Mitchell Lawrence got him out of bounds there.
So Gaffney in Huss territory once again. I think that's what, all but one drive here in the opening quarter that Gaffney has been in Huss territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drives, and 4 times we've been in Huss territory. Late stages, opening quarter, just over 32 seconds remaining, 14-0. Gaffney leads, line of scrimmage, the Huss 40-yard line, right hash mark. Brandon Peeler, Tron Thompson, wideouts to the right. Now it's Brian Martin and Jackie Leach, wideouts to the right. Bradshaw Littlejohn from the gun with Gardner the back to his left. Perhaps we'll set up the middle screen here. Let's see. Bradshaw. No, he's going to go on the quarterback draw, trying to follow the lead, blocking left to Keon Gardner. Bradshaw breaks the tackle the line of scrimmage and pushes down for a few, down to about the 38-yard line, still refusing to go down. They say his forward progress stopped at the 38, but the pile ended up back across the 40.
Well, the ball popped loose. We're going to say it was already down and blown dead. But one of the Hunter Huss Huskies, that happens to be Gary Brown, did not agree with that one.
Well, one of the things you see with Bradshaw, he's such a big kid, and he has the ability to stiff-arm people that he holds that football in one arm, and the defensive back's able to swipe it.
You had 4 defenders on him right there trying to get him to go down.
That's the end of the opening quarter. 14-0 Gaffney. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's Closeout 99 at Wallace White Pontiac Buick GMC Truck in Gaffney. Right now, save thousands of dollars on remaining 1999 Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMC trucks. You'll find finance rates as low as 0% on select models and terrific rebates as well. And don't forget, Wallace White's service department and parts department is available when you need it. See the super selections of low-mileage program cars on the lot and test drive the all-new 2000 LeSabre on the lot now. Stop in, browse around, and drive away with the best deal in the upstate from Wallace White Pontiac Buick GMC truck just off I-85 at exit 95 in Gaffney.
From the heart of the upstate, you're listening to Gaffney Indian Football on WAGI 105.3 FM.
Gaffney High School Indian Football is a presentation of Gaffney Broadcasting Sports through authority granted by Gaffney High School and is intended for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the descriptions of this game without the express written consent of Gaffney Broadcasting Incorporated is prohibited.
Well, opening quarter in the books, 14-0 Gaffney. 5 turnovers for these teams combined in the first 12 minutes of play. Huss with 3 of those. Gaffney defensive back B.J. Dover with a pair of interceptions. And as the teams come up to the line of scrimmage, officials' timeout as the scoreboard has gone dark for the exception of the down yards to go and ball on portions of the scoreboard. We had some problems with didn't have a scoreboard period a week ago tonight for the Cherokee County Classic Jamboree. And won't this be fun if they end up keeping time down on the field? Philip Williams, our referee, on the near sideline, talking with Gaffney head coach Joe Montgomery. Gaffney has not lost to a North Carolina team since back in the year of 1960 when the Indians fell to Shelby. Next week we head off to Kings Mountain, North Carolina, just across the state line to take on the Mountaineers. Start time for that one will be at 7:30. Now the scoreboard's gone completely out, perhaps just trying to reset it, but let's see.
Well, I was just checking with Johnny Miller, who's the clock operator here in the press box. He is working frantically to try to get things reset over here. I'm not sure if it will or will not. I know there had been some question when we came out of the press box tonight as to whether or not that scoreboard was going to operate properly. I think there's been some problems with lightning and first one thing and the other that's caused it to go out. I think we saw this one time last year.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about a week ago tonight for that jamboree, the officials actually were keeping time on the field, but I think the first game, Blacksburg and Polk County, the officials, I think at one point, had actually forgot to keep the time, so we ended up playing an eternity in that opening game. Right now, let's take a break as we try to figure out what will go on with the scoreboard. Officials discussing it, but we'll take a break with the Tribe leading 14-0. You're listening to This is Gaffney Indian Football.
Perry's Tire Service would like to express their appreciation to all of their cherished customers for their loyalty to Perry's Tire over the years. We have been able to provide services such as brakes, shocks, struts, CV axles, front-end alignments, plus many more services. Needless to say, we have fantastic prices on chrome wheels and sell a complete line of Cooper tires for passenger cars and trucks. Contact David, Deborah, or Alicia at Perry's Tire, located at 401 Grenard Street in Gaffney, phone at 489-7960.
Well, back at the reservation, and evidently from what's going on now, apparently we're going to keep the time on the field as the scoreboard has gone dark.
Let's go down to Claudia Jordan and get an update from field level.
That's exactly what they're going to do, guys. The officials are going to keep the time on the field, and we'll see what happens with the scoreboard in the meantime. But right now, the clock is under the direction of the referee.
So we are in the second quarter. 14-0 Tribe. Second down, and call it 7 for Gaffney at the Huss 38-yard line. I formation, slot left. Bradshaw is snap, turns, gives it a deep back. Brian Martin over the left guard, picks his way across the 35 and down to about the 32-yard line, a few yards shy of the first down.
And he stopped there by Gary Brown. The only bad thing about that, not only is it aggravating for the folks in the stand, it's aggravating for us as broadcasters because we can't tell you how much time is left. We have no idea of knowing because if we were to keep the clock up here, and we probably could make a pretty good stab at it,
Of course, it also have to happen our first game of the year.
Oh, yeah, and it could be a problem.
3rd down and 2 for the Tribe. Those are the football at the Huss 33-yard line. Now the left defensive tackle jumps across, makes contact with our center, Beatty. So 3 penalty markers on the turf, and the Indians will get 5 yards and a first down on the defensive encroachment. So the Indians once again moving 5 possessions here in this game.
Got a dead ball, encroachment on White. It's going to be a first down for Black.
So 5 possessions, and it's the 4th time that Gaffney has been in Huss territory. Of course, Gaffney's first 3 drives all started in Husky territory. First one thanks to the 60-yard kick return, and then 2 others thanks to turnovers. First down and 10 Gaffney down at the 28-yard line. Ball between the hash marks. I formation, 3 wides and a slot left. Bradshaw the snap, running the option to the left side. Not pitch the ball back, turns the corner and draws a crowd and tackled near the 22-yard line. Gain of maybe 5 yards or so. So Bradshaw, a tough man to bring down. You take a look at his size at 6'4", 245 pounds. Once again, one of only 4 seniors in that starting offensive lineup tonight for Coach Joe Montgomery.
You talk about omens on the first game of the season. Remember the night the lights went out in Greenville? Were you with us then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What did we do? Start that game at, what, 9:30 at night and led 50 to nothing at the half?
Yeah, it was over after midnight.
2nd and 5. Bradshaw the snap, hands off on the delay. Draw to Bryan of the middle, cuts it to the outside of the 20. Nifty footwork to the 15. Go, Bryan. He's to the 10. He's trying to break a tackle to the 5. Tight roping left sideline and out of bounds near the 2-yard line.
He just dragged Gary Brown. I don't know. It must have been 20, 25 yards.
Well, first down for the Indians. A gain of about 20 yards for Brian Martin there. And it's 1st and goal for the Tribe, trying to get into the end zone down to our left here at the reservation. Indians looking to build upon what is a 14-0 lead. Neither team has had to punt the football here tonight. We're in the 2nd quarter. Thompson and Peeler wideouts to the right, leads to the near side, and Gaffney shows us a split back set. Bradshaw the snap, and on the quarterback sneak over center, touchdown Gaffney. A 95-yard drive for Gaffney's offense. Doesn't get to be much more back-breaking than that. 20-0 Gaffney scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard in Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Call the extra point near sideline. Mr. Clowney Jordan.
All right, Trent Richburg will snap, Keon Gerdner will hold, and Rob Heim will attempt the extra point. Heim 0 for 1 tonight. He missed his only other attempt. A little low-line drive. Maybe we can have better luck on this one. And now we've got a jump. Looks like the defense jump, guys.
If we elect to take it half the distance, the thing that we've had problems with in the preseason, snap back to the holder and then the placement. Of course, that's one of the most difficult things to do. Gaffney here more than likely will decline this penalty as the coaching staff emphatically, Joe Montgomery and the Symphony over here on the near sideline, declining it. So Heim set to try and give Gaffney its 21st point. Kalani.
Gerdner to hold, Heim to kick. Looking for his first extra point of the 99 season. The snap is down, the kick is up, and this one looks to be good, but he missed it wide left. Of course, there's no clock, so we don't know how much time is left, but the score is Gaffney 20, Hunter Huss nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
We all know that cooler weather is coming, and most would like to see it sooner than later. And the folks at Childress Heating and Air Conditioning say don't get caught in the cold this year. Call and ask them about their priority customer service agreement. Besides having your heating system checked in the fall and your air conditioning checked in the spring, there are many, many more benefits of being a priority customer with Childress Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Johnny at 489-4416 for all the details. That's Childress Heating and Air Conditioning, 340 East Baker Boulevard in Gaffney, your local Bryant dealer.
Well, a back-breaking 95-yard drive for Gaffney, and the Indians lead this game 20-0. But one thing Coach Montgomery can't be pleased about is the missed 2-point afters tonight. So Rob Heim tees the ball up at the 40. Kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ranger and F-Series trucks. Twin safeties back deep for the Huskies. Rob Heim approaches a high end-over-end kick, drifting to the left sideline. Hits at the 11 and fielded inside the 10. Returned out across the 15. A fine open field tackle up near the 19-yard line. That's where the Huskies begin, trailing 20-0.
Good job there by Gaffney's Justin Ness.
Well, Bradshaw tonight, a productive evening here. A couple of touchdown passes, and now gets a 2-yard rushing touchdown to his credit. Bradshaw, each of the previous 2 meetings against this Huss ball club, had 3 touchdown receptions. But tonight he's gone from the receiving end to the throwing end of things. So 1st and 10 for Huss from its 19-yard line. All we can tell you is that we are in the second quarter. The scoreboard is out. We don't know the time on the clock. I set Lindsey the up back and Tate the deep back. Wides to each side. Ball spotted left hash mark. 4 down lineman for Gaffney. Ryan short drop. Looks to throw. Fires down the right seam. Overthrown. Deflected and intercepted. Down on the knees up near the 38-yard line.
Roy Dawkins on the interception for the Indians.
Now, that's what this defense is designed to do. Get pressure on the quarterback, force them to throw the football earlier than they want to, and it results in the 3rd interception of the night recorded by this Gaffney secondary. Roy Dawkins picks up his 1st of the year. B.J. Dover had the previous 2. So Gaffney leading 20-0. Starts at the Huss 38-yard line. Littlejohn leading the offense onto the field. 5 turnovers here for Huss in the opening half of this game. Bradshaw from the gun, 4 wide, strips right. Bradshaw looking to throw. Pocket collapses. Fires this one. Right side of the field. Going for Tron Thompson. And incomplete. Thompson double covered inside the 5-yard line.
It was deflected. Jamar McCoy.
L.J. Love, 63, coming back onto the field for that Gaffney offensive line as Brian Millwood, 70, checks out. 2nd down and 10 for the Tribe. Ball spotted at the Husky 38-yard line. Gaffney coming off the 12-3 season a year ago, advancing to the South Carolina Big 16 state championship game for his 2nd straight year, coming up short against Somerville. Gaffney with 13 state titles all time. 2nd and 10, Bradshaw now up under center. And I set Brandon Byers the up back. Now Keon Gertner the deep back. Bradshaw short drop. Fires past right sideline. Going for Brandon Peeler and incomplete. Peeler almost a jump ball situation. Nearly another acrobatic catch by 13, but Brandon could not hold on.
Couldn't hold on. Torrey Farr was right below him, though, trying to break the play up.
Brandon last week in the 2 jamborees, the one at Boiling Springs and in the one here, had 4 touchdown receptions, each acrobatic. He had to fight the defensive back each time to haul in a touchdown pass. 3rd down and 10, Gaffney at the Huss 38-yard line. Ball left hash mark. 2nd quarter, Gaffney working right to left and leading 20-0. 3 wides and a slide right. High set. Gardner the deep back, and now Gaffney has to call a timeout. And we'll take it as well. 3rd and 10 for the Tribe at the Husky 38-yard line when we return. 20-0 Indians. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's the free furniture sale going on now at Brown Furniture Company in downtown Gaffney. And here's how it works. For every $1 you spend on furniture, you get $1 in free furniture. For example, purchase a new living room group for $800. Brown Furniture will give you another $800 worth of free furniture. The larger your purchase, the more you'll get free. Save on brand names like Spring Air, Roy Hill, Sharp, Ashley, RCA, GE, and Frigidaire. Hurry in tomorrow and save on furniture, appliances, electronics, and bedding during the free furniture sale from Brown Furniture Company, 113 East Frederick Street, downtown Gaffney.
Now back to the reservation. Football Friday night. Opening game of the 1999 season. 2nd quarter of play. 20-0 is the Gaffney lead. The Indians call the timeout on offense. Come up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. The Husky 38-yard line. Gaffney trying to get into the end zone down to our left. The Huskies with 3 down linemen. Bradshaw Littlejohn from the shotgun on 3rd and long. 7 drops back, looks to throw. Guns a pass, deep right side. Going for Thompson, incomplete. Tron ended up having a step on the defensive back in the right side of the end zone, but 12 could not hold on to the pigskin, and Gaffney will have to punt for the first time in this game.
Went right through his hand. Torrey Farr was a guy who got stepped on. My goodness.
Well, the Indians here unable to take advantage after the Roy Dawkins interception. So Rob Heim on to punt the football. First punt of the game. Mentioned for Gaffney, but first of the game. Curtis Hughes, the deep safety. There's a snap to Heim and gets the punt away. Tries to pooch this one. It hits at the Husky 5-yard line. A host of black jerseys are there, and we down the football at the 1-yard line. Well, you can't script that any better than that, guys.
Excellent. Well, I say hello to all those folks and thank them for listening over in the Gastonia way. There are no visiting radio with us tonight in our booth to the left, so we appreciate you folks following Hunter Huss, joining the Gaffney Broadcasting broadcast of Gaffney India football.
Yeah, the Hunter Huss bringing a few folks up there tonight. Coach Gardner in a massive rebuilding mode there, trying to get things turned around. And he was excited about the matchup here tonight. He wanted his team, fans, and staff to see the Friday night atmosphere here at the reservation. Let's see here if the defense pins the ears back and comes. First down and 10 for Huss, but from its 1-yard line. I set Ryan just on a quarterback sneak. Did he fumble the football? No, but he's down inside the 1-yard line. Well, they say quarterback keeper, but that was self-preservation time that time for Ryan.
Jeff Littlejohn making the tackle.
Well, second down and called 11 for Huss.
Jeff's another big guy, too, Fabian. 6'2", 285 pounds, and he's only a junior.
Yeah, you're looking at a couple of guys there, the interior part. If you're going to run on this Gaffney team, you're going to have to do it wide. But then you're going to have to contend with the linebackers in that 4-3 scheme. Second down and 11 for Hunter Huss. That ball cannot be any closer to the goal line. Wow. Doubt you could slide a credit card between the ball and the goal line. Ryan, short drop from the end zone. Airs it out right side, overthrown, intercepted. B.J. Dover down to his knees up at the 25-yard line. As he tried to return that one, he lost his footing. But Dover on his knees makes the interception up at the 26-yard line. Fourth pick of the opening half by the Gaffney secondary, and what, the third by Dover. And I'll tell you what, if you are a Huss fan, this thing could be a whole lot worse than 20-0 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possessions for Gaffney, and 7 times Gaffney has been in Huss territory. This time we start at the 26. Bradshaw the snap, turns, gives it a deep back. Brian Martin running wide, gets to the 20, still on his feet and hauled down from behind at about the 15-yard line. Should be a first down for the Tribe. Boy, Martin took a whammy that time. He got dropped to the turf on his knees and then took a shot chest high.
By Gary Brown.
But 20 is okay. I thought Brian got more out of that than 11 yards, but that's what they credit him with. It is a first down for the Tribe. Ball spotted down at the 15-yard line, right hash mark. Indians working right to left here on the playing surface at the reservation. Indians looking to win the opener for an 8th straight season. So first and 10, Gaffney deep in Huss territory and leading 20-0. 3 wide, slot left. I set Martin a deep back. Bradshaw up under center, short drop. Here's a fade pass. Left corner of the end zone, going for Peeler. Jump ball situation, caught, touchdown, Gaffney.
I don't think he realized whether or not he had the ball. He looked up, it was in his arms, and then he walked away.
Well, 26-yard, 25-yard touchdown reception. I think it was that time, or 15, check that, 15-yard touchdown reception, and just throw it up to the jump ball. Like we told you earlier last week, 4 acrobatic touchdown receptions, and most like what we saw right there. Third touchdown pass of the opening half for Bradshaw, and the Indians going for the 2-point conversion. Leading 26-zip, split back set. Bradshaw the snap, short drop. Looking to throw it, rifles a pass, backside end zone, incomplete. And a 2-point conversion, no good. 26-0 Gaffney. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse. 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Baskin-Robbins says, blast them away, Indians. Just like the Indians, you too can enjoy a blast. A cappuccino, mocha, or chocolate blast. Made with your choice of ice cream and topping. Treat yourself to one of the smoothies made with truly free yogurt and fresh fruits. If you really want to indulge yourself, try our 2-scoop sundae or banana split. Baskin-Robbins is the world's largest chain of ice cream specialty shops, and 2 of them are located right here in Gaffney on Baker Boulevard and Nancy Creek Road. For your birthday, football, or specialty ice cream cake orders, call 487-3131.
Well, back at the reservation is Gaffney kickoff, brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. Rob Himes set the kickoff for Gaffney. This kick will travel right to left across your radio dial. Tate and Patterson back deep to return. High end over end kick. coming down the Tate inside the 10, middle of the field to the 15. Across the 20, steps out of a tackle to the 24-yard line and dropped by an ankle tackle up at the 25.
Ankle tackle made by Gaffney's Fred Studevitz.
Well, the Indians lead this thing 26-0. 4 interceptions registered by the Gaffney secondary here in the opening half. 3 of those by B.J. Dover. Spot the ball at about the Huss 24-yard line on the return. It's been a rough game for Bo Ryan. Has taken the short drops because of that Gaffney pass rush, but has not been on target with his passes. Brandon Lindsay is the lone back now. They're getting a guy on the field, and McCoy, the wideout, will line up as a deep back. They hand it off to the fullback Lindsay, and nothing doing there as he tries to go on the inside handoff, maybe up to the 25 for a gain of a half a yard.
Just stood up by Travis Howard.
Well, second down and long. Once again, we're in the second quarter. Don't know how much time is left. Scoreboard blanked down on us here in the early part of this quarter, but we can tell you it's 26-0 Gaffney. And coming up at halftime tonight, we'll talk with Coach Montgomery as he exits the football field, heading into the locker room, and also take a look at the scoring highlights of the first half, as well as the opening half stats, thanks to Kenny Phillips. Second down and 9 for Huss. Ball just shy of the Huskies' 25-yard line. I set. Wide out to the right side. Ryan up under center. Here comes the rush. Pitch sweep. Left side. Gary Brown trying to turn the corner. Does so. Surges across the 30. Left sideline and up near the 33-yard line. And near a Husky first down. Gary Brown just took it around the left side that time. The 6', 210-pound senior. And looks like we could have a first down for Hunter Huss. I thought our referee was going to bring the chains on the field for a measurement.
Well, I thought so too, but I think he just eyed it, and you know, it was well enough across the plane that it was.
Said, let's go, boys. So first down for the Huskies. Gaffney leads this thing 26-0. Bradshaw Littlejohn, 3 touchdown passes tonight, each to a different receiver. Gardner, Leach, and most recently to Peeler. Those of 18, 8, and 15 yards respectively. Bradshaw also with a 2-yard score on the sneak. I set for Huss. Ryan, short drop. Fires down the right seam. Overthrown, and this one intercepted again. B.J. Dover, but now B.J. on the return. And 21 tackled from behind at the Huss 48-yard line. 4 interceptions here in the opening half by B.J. Dover, in 5 recorded by the Gaffney secondary. Wow.
I tell you.
But that all goes to the pass rush because of this Gaffney defense. Ryan, the Huss quarterback, has to throw the football so early. Doesn't have an opportunity to wait and let the receiver get downfield. Most of the interceptions have been overthrown. So first down and 10 Gaffney inside the Huss 48-yard line, second quarter, and we lead 26-0. The Vegas gold and black up to the line of scrimmage. Bradshaw the snap, hands it off to the fullback Keon Gardner. 3 exploits a hole left side of the line, on his feet to the 30, near sideline, 25 to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown Gaffney. Keon Gardner 47 yards out, and it's 32-0 Gaffney. Gardner last year only had 3 carries in a matchup against the Huskies for 22 yards. But here he goes in from 47 yards out. And the Indians lead this thing 32-0. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard, Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to the near sideline, and here's Kalani.
Rob Heim 0 for 2 in extra point attempts. This is his 3rd attempt of the night. Keon Gardner will once again hold. Here's the snap. It's down in time. The kick is up, and this one is good. So we figured there's about, I asked the referee a couple minutes ago, and he said there's about 4 minutes left in the first half. The score is now Gaffney 33, Hunter Huss nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Your sports connection is Sage Sport on Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Hurry in this weekend to find all the hottest styles of athletic footwear and clothing on sale. See the great selection of college and pro t-shirts, sweatshirts, and jerseys on sale. You'll save on book bags and backpacks, as well as a super selection of hats. The big back-to-school sale is continuing this week with store-wide bargains, so stop in, browse around, and remember, for every sport you play, Sage Sport leads the way. That's Sage Sport on Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Now back at the reservation, it's Gaffney kickoff, brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. 33-0, the Gaffney Lane. Rob Heim, line drive kick down the field for the Tribe. Tate takes possession at the 6, out across the 10 to the 15, running to the right, now reverses his field, has a number of black jerseys in his face, and Tate hammered back near the 13-yard line.
Justin Ness in on there. I mean, he just pounded him.
We're going to have to catch up with these interceptions at halftime, but unofficially 5 recorded by the Gaffney secondary. But let's credit the rush of the front 7, if you will. B.J. Dover with 4 interceptions, and Justin Ness, our middle linebacker, dipping that right shoulder as he came back to the near sideline on the kick coverage team. See if 43 is okay. Takes his helmet off. Looks like he's all right. Just kind of came off the field awkwardly there. So first down and 10, Huss from about its 14-yard line. I formation. Tight end to the left. Ryan, that snap, turns and hands it off to the deep back, and nothing doing there. In fact, we make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage back near the 11-yard line.
Jeff Littlejohn, in fact, Jeff even makes a little assist in getting off the turf.
Just tough to run on that Gaffney defense, and Braden Tate found that out that time. Now Ness, 43, coming back onto the field, more than likely going to see 24 Roger McIntosh come out of the game. No Dory Brown, 45, with that right foot taped up, sprinting off to the near sideline. Second down and about 13 for Huss, working from its 11-yard line. Gaffney leading 33-0. 3 wide, slide right eye formation. Ryan hands this one off to the fullback Lindsey, and nothing doing there. Get maybe a yard. Football's loose. Gaffney picks up the ball and returns down to about the 12-yard line. Ball came loose, and Gaffney returned it down to about the 12. I think it was Darrell Richburg.
Yeah, it was Richburg, and actually the ball sat there, Fabian, for a couple of seconds. Richburg looked down, and I guess he thought, well, it's still a live ball, which it was. He picked it up and made the fumble recovery.
Well, Gaffney, last 2 drives, scoring a 26 and 47-yard drives after interceptions. Now we recover a fumble. First and 10 and a quarterback change. Fred Littlejohn, a junior, now set to go under center. Brad Beatty, I formation. Martin at deep back. 3 wides and a slide right. Gaffney leading 33-0 late first half. Fred gets a snap, turns and hands to Brian as Huss blitzes. Brian running left. Stutter step move, running wide left, and is in for the touchdown untouched. So the Indians now lead this thing 38-0. And got an injured Husky on the field as the Gaffney extra point team heads out onto the field. Now he's up and making his way off. Jacob Green, one of the tackles on that defensive line. Keon Gardner with a short, check that, Brian Martin with a short touchdown run. And the Indians lead this thing, 39-0. Down to the sideline, call the PAT. Kalani, take it away.
All right, guys. Rob Heim, 1 for 3. Once again, Keon Gardner will do the holding, and Trent Richburg will be the snapper on the special teams here. Rob's got it figured out now, guys. He's in the zone. Watch this. There's the snap. It's down. Kick is up, and it's good. So I don't know how much time is left, but that makes the score Gaffney 40, Hunter Huss nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Come on in and try McDonald's 2 all-new hamburgers. One's a large, approximately 1/3 pound hamburger with lettuce and tomato, and all the trimmings called the McDonald's Big Extra. Another new sandwich is a 1/3 pound hamburger with 3 large strips of bacon called the McDonald's Big Bacon. Come on in and try one of these all-new delicious hamburgers at McDonald's.
Somebody say McDonald's.
Well, it's been a turnover fest here in the opening half. Hunter Huss unofficially with 6, according to our records. And Brian Martin, 27-yard touchdown run after the fumble recovery return by Darrell Richburg, and the Indians lead this thing 40-0 late in the opening half. So Gaffney now with scoring drives in this game: 35, 19, 26, 47, 7 yards. And of course, early on in the second quarter, the 95-yard scoring drive after Gaffney held Huss on downs. Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Escorts. Rob Hine with the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. 22 approaches. High end over end kick. Taken inside the 10-yard line, straight up the field, left sideline to the 15. Hit at the 20-yard line, and the pile driven back to about the 19. Have to wait and see where they say forward progress was stopped.
Ness and Littlejohn in of his tackle there.
Well, let's see. You've got 8, 14, 21, I think 28 points.
Oh, I thought you were going to do a math class for a minute.
No, I was trying to count up the points that we scored off of turnovers. And unofficially stands at 28. In fact, the only 2 drives that Gaffney has not scored on after turnovers, the opening drive and the 95-yard scoring drive. So 1st and 10 Huss. There's the snap pitch. Trying to run wide right side. Gary Brown being strung out, tries to cut back in, gets a few up to about the 23-yard line. Late stages. Opening half of play. 40-0 is the Gaffney lead.
Justin Ness again on the tackle. God, in case you're just tuning in late, we lost the game clock early on in the second quarter, the quarter we're currently in. A long time ago, it seems like now, Fabian. It's taken an eternity, just after 9 o'clock here.
Oh, yes. Well, McCoy a wide out to the left side. Set one out to the right. High formation for Ryan, who gets under center. Short drop, looking left, fires into the flat, caught by McCoy, sheds off a couple of tackles, has the first down, running straight to the right sideline, out across the 40 to the 45 to the 50, tries to stiff arm a Gaffney defensive back, running near sideline and out of bounds at the Gaffney 43-yard line.
Good pursuit by Roger Logan. Logan was ready for him and just sort of grabbed him, bear hugged him, and pushed him out.
A quick little slant that time, and well, Bo Ryan was able to connect with Jamar McCoy, the 5'8 senior. So Huss, for I think only the second drive tonight in Gaffney territory. The other one stalled out at the Gaffney 5-yard line on downs. Late opening half. Gaffney up 40-0. Nicholas Durham, a wideout to the left side. One to the right, high formation behind Bo Ryan, gets a snap, short drop, firing left sideline, incomplete, but a penalty marker down there. Our defensive back had his hands on the back of the jerseys of Nicholas Durham, the intended receiver.
That is likely going to be called against Gaffney's Roger Logan.
Yeah, Roger a little aggressive over there. Roger, returning starter in that secondary, is number 15. Almost a nifty over-the-shoulder catch that time by Durham.
Good to see you back out.
All right, sir. We've got defensive pass interference. Automatic first down.
And not only has the scoreboard broken down here, but the WSPA TV helicopter came on the scene just prior to kickoff, and it's been sitting over there, and I've noticed they've been trying to get up on top of there doing some work. So I guess their helicopter is grounded right now.
Well, I saw somebody with a dipstick checking the oil just a little bit ago, but forget it. I'd take a cab back to Spartanburg.
Yes.
You think I would get in that thing after it stalled out here? No.
Well, 1st and 10 for the Huskies at the Gaffney 28. Here's the pitch to the right side. Tate trying to turn the corner, being strung out and wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage back near the 30. Lost repair.
Stopped by Gaffney's Brandon Sullivan.
Well, anybody in the stadium listening to the radio, if you have helicopter maintenance experience, they may want to see you over on the practice field.
Well, that would be something, you know, prior military experience would be good.
Well, we'd like to see the highlights on the TV tonight. Hey, the scoreboard's back.
Now all we have to do is get the helicopter started.
That's right.
Hey, you think it was linked to the helicopter?
It could be. You never know. Second down, and call it 13 for Huss. Ryan gets a snap, short drop, looking to throw. Pocket collapses, throws down the left seam. Underthrown and incomplete, nearly intercepted, I believe, by Logan.
Yeah, Logan almost was trying to redeem himself from the pass interference call.
Well,
Or not pass interference, but yeah, it was.
Johnny Miller, our clock operator, is now going to have to earn that check. He was able to coast there for a little while, but we are late. In the opening half of play, it is 40-0. Gaffney over Huss. 28 of the Gaffney points off of Huss turnovers. Gaffney's defense with 5 interceptions. I said wides to each side. Bo Ryan up under center. Near side hash mark. Looks to throw. Hit as he fires left sideline and incomplete. About 4 yards away from the intended receiver, Nicholas Durham, who tried to make a diving catch near the left sideline. Justin Ness, I think that time, was able to pop Ryan just as he threw the football. Good pursuit by 43. 4th down and 12 for the Huskies, the Gaffney 30-yard line. This was a close game a year ago at halftime. 15-6 was the Gaffney lead. The Indians went on to win that football game 50-6. The Indians have now outscored Hunter Huss 268-34 all-time in this series. So 4th down and 12 for Huss at the Gaffney 30. Here comes the blitz. Ryan, no time to throw the football, and he is sacked, swarmed on back at the 35-yard line.
Dory Brown.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4 black jerseys that time that came in on Ryan, who just flips the ball to the turf in disgust. And that's it. I think the opening half is in the books, and it is. We get the signal on the field as Philip Williams, the referee, holds ball above head. And the opening half is in the books, dominated by Gaffney, 40-0. Let's go down to the sideline now in a halftime interview. Clowney Jordan and Coach Joe Montgomery.
Coach, you got to be pleased with the defensive effort in the first half.
They've really played hard, you know, Clowney. But, you know, you got to take into consideration what you're playing. Everybody knows that. You know, it's a game that we've got to kind of use as a continuation of our scrimmages. And you know, our kids are playing hard. That's all you can ask. But, you know, like I said, their execution's always been their problem, and it's again showing up again tonight.
We were worried a little bit about the offensive line, some youth up there. How would you rate their performance?
Well, they've done good on picking up. They're bringing the 4 down linemen and 1 linebacker. So with the 5th person, we're not ever able to distinguish them to the ball snap. And they're doing a good job of picking that up. Jackie's got them kind of outlined now. So we're in pretty good shape there. I'm proud of the way Jackie's got them really pretty well understood for the offensive line, where they know where he's coming from. So, you know, right now we're doing okay there.
Ron Martin looks in mid-season form right now.
He started juking and jiving against Union and Kings Mountain and Spartanburg. They're going to pick his helmet up.
We going to see some more Fred Littlejohn in the second half?
Absolutely.
All right, guys, back up to the booth.
All right, there it is. Coach Joe Montgomery pretty pleased with the performance of his squad coming up out of the first half of the 1999 season, I think, Fabian. And when we come back, we'll talk more about what we've seen so far tonight. 40-0. The Indians on top of Hunter Huss here at the reservation. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Settle for just bacon when you can have the whole hog. Come see them at First Piedmont. 3 locations in Gaffney, 2 in Spartanburg for absolutely free checking. First Piedmont.
Nobody does it better than we do at First Piedmont Federal. Our prime interest is you.
Carolina Vision Associates in the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney is your complete source for total optical services for you and your family. Dennis Turner and his staff are there to assist you with new glasses and new frames. They stock wide assortments of contact lenses, and you can get an eye exam right there in their store, or simply bring in your doctor's prescription for fast, friendly service. For an eye exam, just call 489-2016. So for complete optical services for you and your family, remember Carolina Vision Associates in the Peachtree Marketplace, Gaffney.
The Frame Depot and the Milo Shopping Center Gaffney is proud to announce the arrival of D. Morgan's 1999 Christmas print Christmas present, now in stock and available to you. And you'll also find arriving daily new Civil War art by Mort Kunstler and Don Troiani. And a special good through September 4th, buy any print and receive double matting absolutely free for custom framing and art. Don't forget the Frame Depot in the Milo Shopping Center, 1107 West Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM, Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Back at the reservation tonight, Indians all over Hunter Huss, 40-0. And it's just the end of the first half. Dennis Fowler along with Fabian Fuentes and Connie Jordan joining us in the booth in just a little bit. But a quite impressive first half, and we'll get to statistics in just a moment. But let's do the game summary.
Yeah, game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe, home of the best calabash chicken around. Fats 488-0310. They'll also do catering. So for your catering needs, visit the fine folks at Fats Cafe. Well, Gaffney got on the scoreboard early. Gaffney took the opening kickoff, and Keon Gerdner raced back some 60 yards to set Gaffney up at the Husky 35-yard line. Bradshaw Littlejohn, the first of his touchdown passes, this one of 18 yards to Keon Gerdner on the screen pass. Gaffney missed the point after 6-0 at the 9:27 mark of the opening quarter. Not long after that, 7:31 remaining in the first quarter of play following a fumble recovery. Gaffney goes 19 yards. Littlejohn an 8-yard pass to Jackie Leach. We converted on the 2-point conversion, a Littlejohn run, 14-0. That with better than 7 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. That's the way things would look as we headed into the second. Gaffney opened the scoring then, a 95-yard scoring drive. This after the Gaffney defense held Huss on downs. Bradshaw scoring on the 2-yard quarterback sneak on a 1st and goal. Point after no good. 20-0 Tribe at that point, and won't be able to have the time score the rest of the way due to the scoreboard outage. But Gaffney's next 2 scores set up thanks to interceptions. A 26-yard drive. Littlejohn, a 15-yard scoring strength of Brandon Peeler, a jump ball situation, and Brandon outfought 2 defensive backs. The 2-point conversion pass incomplete, so 26-0 was the Gaffney lead. Then on Huss's next possession, Gaffney came away with another interception. 1st and 10 at the Huss 47-yard line. Keon Gerdner, the 47-yard run. We made the point after to extend the lead to 33-0, and we closed out the scoring in the opening half after Darrell Richburg recovered a fumble. Brian Martin, a 7-yard scoring run. Rob Heim added the point after, and that gives us our halftime score of Gaffney 40, Hunter Huss nothing. Gaffney's secondary unofficially in the opening half with 5 interceptions. B.J. Dover with 4 of those.
All right, quite impressive. We'll talk more about tonight's game and other statistics coming up when we continue. This is Gaffney Indian Football.
Street True Value and Home medical equipment, oxygen, wheelchairs, hospital beds, walkers, diabetic needs and canes beside bedside commodes, nebulizers. They handle all Medicare billing, Medicaid and private insurance where allowed. That's at 101 North Bernard Street in Gaffney. Call them 488-3036. They're open 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's Buford Street True Value and Home Medical, Gaffney, South Carolina.
For a great deal on your next car or truck, shop with the local guys at Wallace White, Pontiac Buick GMC Truck in Gaffney. During Closeout 99, you'll save thousands of dollars on all remaining 1999 Buicks like the Regal, Century, and LeSabre. See the exciting Pontiac Grand Ams and Bonnevilles, and test drive the GMC Sierra and Sonoma trucks at special sale prices. You'll find a super selection of low-mileage program cars and used cars, so take a moment this weekend to see all the cars and trucks on the lot from Wallace White, Pontiac Buick GMC Trucks. They're located on Frontage Road, just off I-85 at exit 95 in Gaffney. That's Wallace White, Pontiac Buick GMC Trucks.
Perry's Tire Service would like to let you know we sell all the top-name tires, like Cooper Tires, Unirolls, Michelin's, Goodyear's, Bridgestones, and TurboTech. We also carry a complete line of good use tires for cars and trucks. So when your car has special needs, always think of Perry's Tire Service. Just see David, Deborah, or Alicia at Perry's Tire, located at 401 Grenard Street in Gaffney. You can telephone at 489-7960.
From the heart of the upstate, you're listening to Gaffney Indian Football on WAGI 105.3 FM.
Back at the reservation tonight, 40-0 in the first half. Indians all over Hunter Huss, and Fabian, Coach Montgomery said it, and Clowney joins us in the booth right now. But Coach Montgomery told you, Clowney, as he left the field, this is a continuation of a scrimmage. And you know, also in the game, we see some of that. But you know, I don't think the premier game of the season. It's like Stan Olenek was talking in his broadcast earlier tonight, the preview show. And, of course,
Coach Willie Varner. Varner says, hey, you want to get somebody in there in the first game that, you know, you feel comfortable with and you feel like you can win. It's got to be pretty frustrating for Hunter Huss right now and Coach Gardner.
Well, and Gardner, I'm sure, is telling his football team, you're coming out here in the second half, Connie and Dennis, let's keep it together. Let's keep a structured program. Let's handle ourselves with class over the final 2 quarters of play. Because year in and year out, I think, you know, if you're Hunter Huss, you have to take a look at this. This is a Gaffney football program that has appeared in the last 2 South Carolina Big 16 state championship games. A talented team, yet young this year. So you have to keep in mind, if you're Hunter Huss, that you're not going to play a better football team the remainder part of the season. You go back to 2 years ago, Gaffney beat this team 76-0. Well, they turned around, almost won the Mega 7 championship, and in fact advanced to the North Carolina State playoffs before losing in the opening round. But if you're Coach Montgomery, you also realize that this Husky football team is young. They don't have the numbers that Gaffney has. You have to keep it in perspective. Yeah, a win is a win, but it's an opportunity for your football team to go through a complete four full quarters of football action.
But, you know, with all that said, Fabian, it's still kind of tough for, you know, those players from Hunter Huss to come back out on that field knowing that you're behind 40-0, Clowney, and keep your heads up and know that you're probably going to go out here.
A good leg into this one. High end over and kick that lands 8 yards deep into the end zone. So it comes out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. Well, a lot of the first teamers still in there for that Gaffney defense coming onto the football field. And as we talked about at halftime, Gaffney with not as much preseason practice time as we are accustomed to. So that first unit on both sides of the football probably going to get a little bit more work tonight than normal. And also when you take into account that a number of losses from last year's team. So still trying to look at a number of areas, and we saw a lot of rotating in the first half, both the offensive line and defense. So Huss up to the line of scrimmage, I said from the 20. Handed off to the fullback, and nothing doing there for Lindsey. Tried to take it right into the teeth of that Gaffney defense, and that's a black jersey nightmare. Loss of at least a yard on the play.
Yeah, and Jeff Littlejohn right there controlling that nightmare. Scoreboard is out again.
Great. Well, the helicopter's still across the field, and they may have abandoned ship. I don't see any movement around there.
It's not one of those things like, you know, you call a rollback, pull it on, and take it on back.
Well, second down and long. Also about a half yard for Huss. First play, third quarter. I formation, slot to the right side. Ryan, the snap, short drop, hit as he throws right side. Do they make a diving reception? No. Referee got up there and said no reception, so third down and long coming up. But once again, Ryan having to deliver the football quickly because of the Gaffney pass rush. And keep in mind, rush to throw the football, only a 2 or 3 step drop.
Good rush by Roy Dawkins and good pressure from Roy.
Well, the thing you're going to see with this Gaffney defense this year, it is a very aggressive defense. Oftentimes 7 guys in the box and 7 guys coming after the quarterback. And you will see the defensive backs left man coverage, one-on-one most of the time. But Gaffney, 5 interceptions first half. Third and long, Ryan short drop again, throws right seam. This one intercepted. A sliding interception by Tron Dawkins, I believe it is, up near the 39-yard line. Well, I got news for you. I don't think the records are available, but I'd like to know what the state record for interceptions in a game is. We're at 6. 3 different defensive backs have come away with picks. 5 by Dover, that one by Tron Dawkins. High formation for the try. Fred Littlejohn, the quarterback, digs out the snap, hands it a deep back. Keon Gardner straight up the middle. Room to run to the 30 to 25. Tries to break a tackle from behind. Tries to lunge to the goal line and hauled down near the 3-yard line. So Gaffney, first possession of the third quarter, starting from about the Huss 39-yard line, thanks to the interception, leading 40-0. This Gaffney defensive secondary now, over the last 16 football games now with 30 interceptions. That's taken into account the 6 tonight and the 24 from last year. First and goal from about the 3. I set. Gerdner, the deep back. Behind Byers, 3 wide, slide right. Fred Littlejohn, the snap, turns, gives it to Gerdner, trying to run wide right. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, untouched. Keon Gerdner from 3 yards out. His second rushing score of the night and his 3rd touchdown of the evening. His first one, a pass reception of 18 yards. The Indians lead this thing 46-0. Now 34 points off of Huss turnovers down to the field, and call the extra point to a well-worked out Clowney Jordan.
All right, guys. Rob Heim is 2 for 4 on extra point attempts tonight. Keon Gerdner will hold. Trent Richburg to do the snapping. Snaps a little high. Keon gets it down. The kick is up, and it is good. So we're early in the 3rd period. The score now, Gaffney 47, Hunter Huss nothing. You're listening to Gaffney Indian Football.
From sporting goods to clothing, shoes to hats, you always find the hottest styles of athletic gear when you shop Sage Sport on Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Hurry in this week to find special prices on all shoes for the entire family by all the famous makers. See the super selection of college and pro t-shirts, shorts, and jerseys, and you'll find lots of unadvertised specials throughout the store. They've got one of the best inventories of athletic shoes around, so you need to stop in this weekend and save. It's all happening this week at Sage Sport, your sports connection. That's Sage Sport, Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Now Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks on Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Expeditions. Rob Heim set the kickoff for the Tribe, left to right. 22 approaches. Another good leg into this one. High end over end kick. Fielded by Patterson at the 2. Racing up to the 10, to the 15, near sideline to the 25, out across the 30, and hauled down from behind up near the 34-yard line. About a 32-yard return that time for Frank Patterson, 5'11" sophomore.
Brandon Brown of the Indians making the tackle.
Getting back to that turnover thing that we were talking about, Gaffney very impressive in the plus-minus category. Last year, the Indians were plus 14 in that category, and if you go back over the last 30-plus football games, including tonight, so that's the 97-98 seasons and the first half and then some tonight, Gaffney is now plus 42 in the last 30-plus football games. Of course, Gaffney coming into this having won 26 of its last 30. New quarterback in the football game for Huss. They're going to pitch it out right side to Tate, trying to sweep the right side. All kinds of pressure in the backfield, and driven out of bounds about a yard behind the line of scrimmage as he tried to fight for his life. And maybe a loss of 1 or 2 on the play, so 2nd and long.
Trent Richburg on the stop for the Indians.
Trent Richburg getting into the lineup now. Jeff Littlejohn, 72, coming off to the sideline, as is Billy Smith, number 9. Billy, Coach Montgomery talked about him this week, the job that young man did in the weight room over the summer. 6'3", 235-pound senior. The new quarterback for Huss is Nicholas Durham, who's a flanker. Turns and hands it off to the deep back and tackled in the backfield. Brain Tate got the handoff and then couldn't do anything after that, just hold on to the football with 2 arms. Lost back to the 26. So Huss looking at about a 3rd down and 15 here.
Travis Howard on the tackle for the Indians.
Of course, if you're the Huss quarterback right now, faced with a 3rd down and long, and you're saying, yippee, another pass situation. We've only had 6 picked off tonight. Durham, the 6'1", 180-pound senior.
I think they're beginning to catch on that the pass game is not effective against the Indians.
Well, I formation. Lindsey is the up back, Tate the deep back. Durham under center, gets the snap, trying to run the football. The option behind the left side, gets hit. He's fumbled the football at his 31-yard line. Still no indication as to who has the football. I thought a black jersey had gotten on top of the pigskin, and we have. Gaffney has possession down at the Huss 31-yard line. Fell on the football, no advancement on the play, but the Indians up 47-0.
Actually, Brandon Sullivan had to reach his arm out, his right arm pretty far, Fabian, and pull it back under him and save the day for the Tribe.
31-yard line is where the football is spotted after the fumble. What is that? 8 turnovers, I think, unofficially tonight for Huss. So Fred Littlejohn, the junior, remaining in at quarterback. Gaffney with 4 wides, the spread attack, 2 to each side. Littlejohn is snapped from the shotgun. Fred fires right sideline, dropped and incomplete. Brandon Peeler extended the arms in front of that number 13 jersey, but Brandon could not hang on. Well thrown ball that time from Fred. So 2nd down and 10 coming up. Next week we head across the state line to Kings Mountain. Take on the Mountaineers. Advanced to the North Carolina 3A state championship game last year. Ron Massey and company. Ought to be a whale of a ball game. And Huss has called a timeout. We're in the 3rd quarter. Not sure the time left. Scoreboard out. But one thing's for sure, 47-0 Gaffney. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Come on in and try McDonald's 2 all-new hamburgers. One's a large, approximately 1/3 pound hamburger with lettuce and tomato, and all the trimmings called the McDonald's Big Extra. Another new sandwich is the 1/3 pound hamburger with 3 large strips of bacon called the McDonald's Big Bacon. Come on in and try one of these all-new delicious hamburgers at McDonald's.
Somebody say McDonald's.
Well, back at the reservation. 3rd quarter of play. And the Indians lead the visitors from Gastonia. Hunter Huss High School, 47-0. 2nd down and long for Gaffney as we come back to play. The Indians with a football down at the 31-yard line. Thanks going out tonight to Tim Foster back in studio control. Well, Bradshaw Littlejohn, our starting QB, now going to line up as a wide receiver to the left. More good news for Huss. Bradshaw's had 6 touchdown receptions over the last 2 meetings against his football team. Well, Brandon Byers, the up back and a reserve tailback in for the Indians as Fred Littlejohn gets the snap. Here's a toss sweep right side, turning the corner to the 30 to the 25, and that's McIntosh tackled down at the 21-yard line. Roger picking up nearly 9.5 yards on the play.
Sort of rolled there by Hunter Huss's number 32. Does not appear on my roster. Did you get that number?
I'm not sure. They had a thing about Huss. No, I don't have that one either, but Hunter Huss, I guess last night, had someone break into their locker room facilities and steal a few of the jerseys. So they had to do some number changing prior to the game. 1st and 10 for the Tribe. Line of scrimmage at the Huss 21-yard line. Fred gets the snap near side hash. Looking, fires left side. Brandon Peeler makes the catch in front of the defensive back. Gets a block from behind. Lunges to the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. Way to go, 13. Brandon Peeler with a touchdown reception, and he catches the pass from the right-hander, Fred Littlejohn. And Gaffney leads this football game 53-0. As Rob Heim comes back onto the field for a point after. Once again, we're still in the 3rd quarter. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard, Gaffney. Sagebrush, home of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Sir Kalani.
Rob Heim is 3 for 5, guys. He's made his last 3 consecutive extra point attempts. Keon Gardner to hold. Here's the snap. It's down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So I would imagine we're somewhere with 4 or 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The score is now Gaffney 54, Hunter Huss nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Don't know which way to turn? Turn to First Piedmont. In Gaffney, 3 locations to serve you. Spartanburg, 2 locations. Our prime interest is you. Absolutely free checking. Remember, First Piedmont can help.
Nobody does it better than we do. At First Piedmont Federal, our prime interest is you.
Now back at the reservation, 54-0. Gaffney now leads Huss. 3rd quarter of play. Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, located at 221 Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Explorers. Gaffney's Rob Heim, a high end-over-end kick. Taken inside the 5-yard line by Patterson. Across the 10, 15, 20, tries a stutter step move and a fine open field tackle made up near the 26, 27-yard line, now call it.
And a tackle there by Brad Stunovitz.
42 points off Huss turnovers for Gaffney tonight. Scoring drives here in the 3rd quarter of 39 and 31 yards. Most recent scoring drive set up after a fumble recovery. Unofficially, 8 turnovers in this game for the Huskies, clad in the road white jerseys with the powder blue numbers, blue pants, dark blue helmets. Nicholas Durham remains in the game at the quarterback spot. Lindsey and Tate remain in the eye. There's a snap. Durham going to try and go on the quarterback draw, but nothing doing there. He's hacked down behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, certainly he was. Brandon Sullivan and Kerry Allen. A couple of other Indians in there.
Well, this will be the 191st career win for Coach Joe Montgomery. This is 24th season as a high school head football coach, and this will also be win number 86 at Gaffney for Coach Joe. 85-29 coming into this football game. 4 state championship appearances and 2 wins, 97-92. Second down and 11 for Huss from about his 25. Durham, play action, now going to roll out to the right side. Decides to keep the football out across the 30, across the 35-yard line, and hauled down after he gets the first down up near the 38-yard line. Nicholas Durham picks up about 14 yards there, and the chains will move for the Huskies.
Dory Brown on the stop for Gaffney. If you're just tuning in late, maybe already leaving some of the other games going on in the area, especially you folks in North Carolina, because you have a 7:30 start time, which we will have next week. 54-0. The Indians on top of Hunter Huss.
Go back and take a look at some of the scores in this series. He had 50-6 last year, 70-6 back in 97 here. Closest game in this series, actually the first meeting back in 94. Gaffney winning here 27-14. Durham hands off to the deep back. Tate trying to run left tackle behind the line of scrimmage. This back near the 36-yard line. Loss of about 3.
And a stop by Richburg.
Well, I got some wholesale changes in there now on that Gaffney defense. Justin Ness, one of our starters, still in there. Got Dory Brown coming off to the right sideline. I think we've still got Anthony Littlejohn, one of our starters, still in the game, though. Check that. B.J. Fowler talked about him earlier. Durham gets a snap, running the option behind the right side, and now again pulled down from behind the line of scrimmage. Back at about the 35-yard line.
To Stephen Tate. Credited for that tackle.
Well, we've talked about it before, and unfortunately, Huss has been the opponent when we've talked about it. But if you're wondering about the most lopsided opening day victories for Gaffney, or most lopsided wins, for that matter, going back 84-0 on 2 different occasions, way back in 1935 and 28 against Forest City and North Greenville, respectively. Third down and 15. Durham, the snap, straight drop for 11. Hit from the backside as he throws to the right sideline, and that one is incomplete. That might be a candidate for the old blast of the game, if you will. I mean, 11 took a whack from the backside.
Brandon Sullivan and Kerry Allen. And right, blast of the game is back, brought to you by Baskin-Robbins. We'll be looking for the blaster of the game tonight. Had some pretty good hits, too.
Well, for the first time tonight, see what happens here with 4th down and 15. Third quarter of play. First punt of the night coming up here for the Huskies. I was going to go ahead and say that, then for a minute I wasn't quite so sure. So the first punt of the game. Peeler is the deep safety. Here comes the rush, and the punt is away. This is a nice effort. Brandon makes the catch at our 33, right between the hash marks, racing to the right sideline, trying to turn a call. Nice block. Up to the 45 to the 50. Racing right sideline to the Huss 35, to the 30. A blocker ahead. Brandon to the 10, to the 5, cuts left, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Gaffney. 66 yards on the punt return is what they're announcing on the public address system. Brandon Peeler. A 66-yard punt return. And the Indians lead this thing 60-0. Have an injured Huss player back up the field at the Gaffney 43-yard line. And they'll have to tend to him before they can attempt the point after. Man, Brandon got 2 whammies. Got one on the perimeter here back in Gaffney territory that sprung him across the 40. Then he got a down the field block, I believe, by B.J. Dover down at the 10-yard line.
This injury update is brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic, 104A Professional Park in Gaffney. Let's go to the sidelines. And Clonnie Jordan.
All right, guys, we've got, as far as the injury reports go, we just a couple of cramps, some what Dr. Cameron is referring to as lower abdominal injuries.
Well, I'm talking about the one directly in front of you. It's a Hunter Huss player.
I think it's still the same kind of thing, guys. I think it's either a cramp or a wind knock out you kind of thing.
Oh, like an abdominal thing.
That's what I was talking about. We've had a couple of those, and they attribute that to the heat. You just get dehydrated, you get hit in the stomach area, and...
well, how are you doing with the heat out there tonight?
I'll tell you what, I'm in tip-top shape. If
Well, you look like you're primed and ready to go. Looks like mid-season form for you.
If you keep doing as good a job as you're doing right now, Clowney, I will promise we'll take you on the helicopter ride after the game.
I want to ride that helicopter. Just as soon as they get it fixed, I want to be on it.
Well, this is one of the unfortunate things about games that get out of hand like this scoring-wise. You just don't want to see any injuries, and that's for both sides. You just want to try and get out of here with everybody healthy. Last year, Hunter Huss, I think, had a kid that had a gruesome fracture of an arm, I think, in the opening half of the football game, and that's something that you just don't, you don't want to see. The game's decided, and you just want to try and keep your players as healthy as possible.
Clowney, I'm unable to pick up a number from up here. Can you?
It's number 8, which I think is Brandon Lindsay.
Yeah, Brandon Lindsay, the fullback.
Still laying on the surface.
Is he the one that got, I'm trying to figure out if he's the one that got popped on that perimeter block that freed Brandon to race up the right sideline?
He was the first guy cut down on the turn. Yeah, he was.
Wow.
And what they're looking at his rib cage and that area and around the abdomen. Dr. Spike Phillips out here now taking a look at it.
And, of course, if an injury puts you along the sidelines, be sure to contact the sports medicine experts, and that includes Dr. Frank Phillips that Clowney just referred to, along with Dr. Richard Gardner and Dr. Walter Grady. They're at Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic, 104A Professional Park in Gaffney. Call them at 487-5823. Back in a moment, we'll get you an update on what's going on out there. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Carolina Vision Associates in the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney is your complete eyeglass headquarters. They can tint your glasses, make glasses from an old pair, they carry in-stock contact lenses, and you can always bring in your doctor's prescription or make an appointment to see a doctor in their store by calling 489-2016. So for fast service at reasonable prices on optical services for the entire family, visit Carolina Vision Associates. In the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney, your complete optical headquarters, that's Carolina Vision Associates of Gaffney.
Now back at the reservation, Brandon Lindsay, the injured Huss player, being helped off to the far sideline. We are in the third quarter of play, and the scoreboard is back on. And let's see. Had 54 before the Peeler score. 60-0 is the score. Of course, we are still awaiting the Rob Heim point after out of the hold of Keon Gerdner. Rob has gotten a workout here tonight. Lonnie Jordan walking along the near sideline, getting himself in position to call the point after. So take it away there, Clowney. Your time.
All right, guys. Rob Himes made 4 in a row. Keon Gerdner doing the holding. Trent Richburg, they bring him in at center to do the snapping on the extra point and field goal attempts. 60-0. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So we don't know how much time's left in the third period, but that makes the score Gaffney 61, Hunter Huss nothing. You're listening to Gaffney Indian football.
The Frame Depot and the Bilo Shopping Center Gaffney is proud to announce the arrival of D. Morgan's 1999 Christmas print, Christmas Present, now in stock and available to you. And you'll also find arriving daily new Civil War art by Mort Kunstler and Don Troiani. And a special good through September 4th, buy any print and receive double matting absolutely free for custom framing and art. Don't forget the Frame Depot in the Bilo Shopping Center, 1107 West Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Now back at the reservation along with Dennis Fowler and Clowney Jordan, Fabian Fuentes. Third quarter, 61-0 is the Gaffney advantage. Rob Heim set the kickoff for the Tribe. Kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford. Highway 221 in Chesney. Heim approaches. Long end over end kick. Patterson makes the catch. A yard deep into the end zone, so the automatic touchback. Rob has put a couple into the end zone tonight and consistently has put the ball inside the 5-yard line. 22, great kicking leg, and we've gotten to see it quite a bit tonight. You got to wonder here, 61-0. We're not even into the fourth quarter yet. And this has not been a game, folks, where Gaffney has even come close to running up the score. I mean, the last score was a 66-yard punt return. The other 2 touchdowns here in this quarter, 39 and 31-yard scoring drives after an interception and a fumble recovery. 1st and 10 for Huss from its 20. Durham running the option behind the right side, trying to turn the corner and stacked up at the line of scrimmage. May have even lost a yard. Back to the 19.
And the stop made there by Gaffney's Brandon Sullivan.
Of course, we've got the, you talked about it a few moments ago, the TV replay of the game tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on Channel 17. We've also got the coaches show with Joe Montgomery Thursday nights at 7 o'clock on Channel 17. Quite a few highlights for that one. We've seen a lot of big plays in this game. Gaffney with 4 down linemen. Durham, the Huss quarterback, gets the snap and hands it off to the fullback, who plows across the 20 and up to about the 23-yard line.
Terrence Savage, the guy on the bottom of the heap.
That was Mitchell Lawrence, 40 on the carry. No, check that. 44, Jermaine Brown, I believe, the ball carrier. 3rd down and long. 3rd quarter, still don't know how much time's remaining in this period. Approaching the hour of 10 o'clock. This will be the 595th win all time in Gaffney football history. Game number 886. 3rd and 7, Durham. The snap, short drop, throws on a quick pass, incomplete. Down at the feet of his receiver up at the 29-yard line, so incomplete. And Huss will have to punt the football.
Justin Ness making the tackle for the Indians.
Well, Brandon Peeler, 13, drifting out there. He's going to get his hands on the football again. Brandon with a 15-yard touchdown reception, a 20-yard touchdown reception. The first from Bradshaw Littlejohn, the second one from Fred, and then a 66-yard punt return. Check that. Brandon's coming out of the game, and Jamar Montgomery will return the punt, 5'8" senior. There's a snap. And the punt is away. Wobbly kick. Jamar makes the catch to the Huss 46 on the return to the 40, to the 35, racing back to the right and hauled down from behind down at the Huss 26-yard line.
Rod straight down to the turf by Edward Bird.
20-some-odd yard return right then for Jamar Montgomery. So 1st and 10 for the Tribe. Nose of the football just shy of the Huss 25-yard line. 3rd quarter, 61-0 is your score. Fred Littlejohn has done a good job engineering this Gaffney offense. New wide out into the game. That's Dean Davis, 84, wide out to the left, slot to the right. High formation. There's a snap, turn, and give it off to the deep back, trying to turn the corner right side to the 20 and down to the 19-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards or so on 1st down.
That's when he ran into Jermaine Brown.
So the Indians on the move here. Drive starting down at the 25 of the Huskies. To the 20-some-odd yard punt return from Jamar Montgomery. 2nd out and 7. Slot left. Davidson in motion to the right. Fred Littlejohn turns and hands it off to the deep back, running left to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown. Gaffney with point number 67, and that's a number we don't have on our roster.
That's number 80. Connie, if you can check for us down there on the field and maybe perhaps get an ID on that, match the number with the name.
So a 19-yard run. 67-0 is the score. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Down to the sideline, a call of another PAT. Here's Clowney.
All right, guys, Rob Heim to attempt extra point out of the hold of Keon Gardner. He's made 5 in a row. There's the snap. It's down. The kick is blocked. It's no good. And by the way, the guy who scored the touchdown is a 10th grader. Coaches say his name is Joe Smith. The score now, Gaffney 67, Hunter Huss nothing. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Buford Street True Value and Home Medical. 101 North Bernard Street in Gaffney, South Carolina is now open to serve you. They're open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, on Saturdays from 8 till 6. Closed on Sunday. Full-service hardware store. You'll find the same employees you've dealt with for many years. Electrical, plumbing, painting, and gifts, too. Toys and houseware section, all available. And don't forget the post office, too. Buford Street, True Value.
At the reservation, it is 67-0 Gaffney, and we are still in the third quarter, late stages of the third quarter. Gaffney kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. High end over end kick off the foot of Heim. Patterson fields the 10. Out across the 15 to the 20, left side up to the 25 and tackled near the 30-yard line. And that is where the Huskies resume control of the football on what has been a nightmarish evening for that football team over there. One of the things that Coach Gardner wanted to see coming into this game was this football team be competitive, and things got off to a bad start right away when returned the opening kickoff some 60 yards, and Gaffney took its first snap from down at the 35 of Huss and would go on to score. So 1st and 10. Hunter Huss from its 30. Gaffney with 4 down linemen, a 3-point stance. Durham turns, hands off to the fullback, Jermaine Brown, working over the right side across the 35 and up to about the 36.
And that's where he's brought down by Morris Byers of the Tribe.
And about 6 yards. A lot of changes going on that Gaffney defense. Several players going on and coming off. Indians about to win their 8th consecutive season opener. This is the 80th season opener for a Gaffney football program, and the Indians will have won 68 of those. Wow. 80 years of football, and you only lose 12 season opening games.
That's not bad.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Onward we go. 12 minutes remaining. 67-0. Gaffney over Huss. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's Closeout 99 at Wallace White Pontiac Buick GMC Truck in Gaffney. Right now, save thousands of dollars on remaining 1999 Buicks, Pontiacs, and GMC trucks. You'll find finance rates as low as 0% on select models and terrific rebates as well. And don't forget, Wallace White's service department and parts department is available when you need it. See the super selections of low-mileage program cars on the lot and test drive the all-new 2000 LeSabre on the lot now. Stop in, browse around, and drive away with the best deal in the upstate from Wallace White Pontiac Buick GMC truck just off I-85 at exit 95 in Gaffney.
Well, with Dennis Fowler, Lonnie Jordan, Fabian Fuentes, 12 minutes remaining in the 1999 season opener for Gaffney and Hunter Huss. And as we enter the fourth quarter, Indians all over the Huskies, 67-0. It was 40-0 at the half. Gaffney then in the third quarter scoring drives of 39 and 31 yards after turnovers. Then a 66-yard punt return for a score from Brandon Peeler. And then the 19-yard touchdown run from sophomore Joe Smith. That after a 20-yard punt return set Gaffney up down at the Huss 25-yard line. So as we start the fourth quarter, Huss will work left to right. Now our referee Philip Williamson talking things over with one of his fellow officials. The scoreboard is back on, so the option of using the scoreboard for the time is possible. No, they're not going to keep the time on the scoreboard. They're going to keep it down on the field. Now Coach Joe Montgomery coming out to the field and talking with the officials. Interesting to see. Now they still say that they're going to keep the time on the field instead of the scoreboard, because the scoreboard has gone out on a couple of occasions.
Well, it would only create some problems, I think, if you started and then all of a sudden it stopped, and you've already got a system going down there and you can keep it on the field, and let's work on the clock next week.
Well, second down and 3 for Huss from its 37. First play, fourth quarter. Durham gets a snap, fakes to the fullback, trying to run the option behind the right side of the line of scrimmage. Sheds off a couple of tacklers out across the 40 and gets the first down up to about the 42-yard line. So nice second effort running that time by Nicholas Durham. Well, we've got Kings Mountain up next week. Head up into Mountaineer territory. Good running back, Anthony Hillman. That kid is a bowling ball, folks. He is a good one. I believe he rushed for nearly 2,500 yards last season for that Mountaineer team, but, well, hit hard due to graduation in the offensive line during the offseason. Were the Mountaineers, I mean, they had 3 All-State selections, I think. Tim Foster telling me earlier today that are all gone. That should be a great matchup. First and 10 for Huss, and now our umpire tosses in a flag. Bill Lane. I think we had an offensive lineman lined up in the neutral zone.
We've got a dead ball, false start, flag.
That's what we've got. Philip Williams, our referee. Great job tonight. Appreciate him wearing our mic. But 7:30 kickoff next week, so airtime will be at 7 o'clock. Stan Olenek with a high school football preview show at 6:30. We rejoin Stan at 10:30 for a recap of all the night's action. Well, Durham snap, turns and hands it off to the deep back Tate, trying to sweep the left side, able to do so up to the 45. Stutter step move to the 50. Now backwards back to the 50. Gets a few more positive yards down to the Gaffney 47-yard line, and that'll be enough for a Huss first down.
That was kind of nasty. Trent Richburg in on the tackle for the Indians.
Oh, we got to preserve the shutout now. Unofficially, according to my records, Gaffney with 40 shutouts all time in opening games. See if we can score our second one in 3 years. First and 10 Huss. Line of scrimmage, the Gaffney 47-yard line. Ball spotted left hash mark. Huskies working left to right here in the final period of play, which is just underway. I set, slide right. Durham, the snap, turns, hands to the deep back. Tate trying to run right and tackled behind the line of scrimmage. This back near the 50-yard line on the top of that Indian hit.
Good job from Travis Howard. Don't forget, you mentioned Stan Olenek. He comes along at 10:30 tonight or immediately following this game with all the recaps of what's gone on across the state tonight in high school football on this opening 1999 season. So be sure and stay tuned with us.
Or if you want to talk about that schedule some more, September 10th, Union comes to town. That's a high-octane offense, but halftime score tonight between Union and Spartanburg scoreless. Durham here fumbles a snap from center, recovers and actually tries to sweep the left side for Huss and tackled near the original line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. So 3rd down and 10 coming up. Yeah, when I heard that score, I meant to comment on it right away, but wow, I wonder when the last time a Spartanburg football team has been shut out through the first half of play. Everybody's been talking about that Union offense this year. Healthy quarterback Joseph Pettit and wide receiver Roscoe Crosby. They totally annihilated Broome here in the Cherokee County Jamboree a week ago tonight. Then on the 17th, Lawrence comes to town. Rodney Mars and company. Of course, Dorman beating Lawrence, I think it was 20-7 at the half. Nicholas Durham pitch right side to Tate, trying to turn the corner, being strung out and tackled near the line of scrimmage. So it's going to bring a 4th down and long. Nothing doing there, nothing really developed, and the guys in the black shirts caught up.
Terrence Savage in there for Gaffney.
And Huss will be forced to punt the football. So Gaffney will get the pigskin back. I'd say a little more than half of the 4th quarter remaining. Gaffney leading 67-0. Huss getting a few guys on the field. Now they're ready to go. Jamar Montgomery, the deep safety for Gaffney. Jamar with a 20-yard punt return in his first effort of the evening. There's a snap, and the kick is away. This is not a particularly good effort. Wobbly kick that lands at the Gaffney 26 and is downed at that spot. So 1st and 10 for the Indians from about their 26-yard line, leading 67-0. We're in the 4th quarter of play. And a little bit about everything for this Gaffney football team tonight. Turnovers a huge factor in this football game. At last check, 42 of the 67 points, courtesy of turnovers. It's about the only thing Gaffney hasn't done tonight is, I guess, block the punt. Did that matchup last year, I believe. So 1st and 10 for the Tribe. From its 27, Fred Littlejohn to snap, turns and hands it off to the fullback, and nothing doing there as he tried to take it over right guard. 2nd and long coming up.
He just stood up by Josh Carpenter.
Of course, changes on the Gaffney coaching staff this year. Some old faces returning. One of those, Jackie Queen, who left the Gaffney staff, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Time flies, but Jackie is back. Started out as the running backs coach when camp started, and now moved to the offensive line because of one of the coaches tendering his resignation this week. Fred Littlejohn to snap, fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the left side, turns the corner, blocker ahead. Fred spins across the 40 and up to the 42-yard line. Good enough for a Gaffney first down, gain of 16.
Mitchell Lawrence actually tripped him up. He still managed to get about 4 yards after that.
And, of course, something else you talked over with Coach Montgomery tonight, Dennis, Jay Huffstetler, who stepped aside back in the spring, wanted to spend more time with his family. Well, actually, he's doing that. He wanted to be back with his son, working on the offense.
He's doing that.
And so Jay, coaching wide receivers, came back aboard, I guess, yesterday. Fred Littlejohn to snap, hands it off to the fullback, straight up the gut, into Huss territory, the 45, and down to the 39-yard line. And that's number 89 on the carry. Well, it's 67-0, so we're seeing some guys now that, although they've got a jersey on, we don't have them on the rosters. Others on that coaching staff, Mike Mayer, now the offensive line tight end coach, along with Coach Queen, Larry Irvin, running backs, Kobe Peeler, in addition to the staff, working at the wide receiver position with Jay Huffstetler. And on the defensive side, Mike Biddix back is the defensive coordinator. Charlie Patterson, his first year as the defensive line coach. Fred Littlejohn fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the left side, turns the corner, stiff arms a tackler at the 30, stays on his feet to the 25, to the 20, 15, 10, hauled down from behind there, but a penalty marker back up the field just behind the line of scrimmage.
Finally brought down by Huskies' Torrey Farr. We'll wait for the indication from the officials.
Might be coming back. And what have we got? Illegal motion. The call against the Tribe. So that snuffs out the nice run by Fred Littlejohn, the junior quarterback. Of course, Charlie Patterson, we mentioned, a defensive line coach in his first year here at Gaffney, was the head coach at West Florence before coming to Gaffney. And then Dan Jones, linebackers coach this year.
Got an illegal shift on Black.
Illegal shift now, the call. And Dan made the move from defensive line to linebackers. Longtime assistant Andy Jones took an administrative position here at the school, not on the coaching staff this year. And of course, we lost Greg Taylor. Guys also talked about that. Greg making his debut. He was our offensive line assistant head coach, but Greg debuting tonight as the Fort Mill head coach as his team takes on Northwestern. And a timeout on the field. Play clock about to expire, so Gaffney has to take a timeout. 67-0 Gaffney, fourth quarter. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Perry's Tire Service would like to express their appreciation to all of their cherished customers for their loyalty to Perry's Tire over the years. We have been able to provide services such as brakes, shocks, struts, CV axles, front end alignments, plus many more services. Needless to say, we have fantastic prices on chrome wheels and sell a complete line of Cooper tires for passenger cars and trucks. Contact David, Deborah, or Alicia at Perry's Tire, located at 401 Grenard Street in Gaffney. Phone at 489-7960.
Well, back at the reservation, first down and 15 for Gaffney at the Huss 49-yard line, fourth quarter. Indians lead 67-0. Want to invite you to stay tuned momentarily. We'll send it back to studio control and perhaps scoring updates with Tim Foster. Maybe a look at today's NASCAR race qualifying. Here's a quick pass left side, in and out of our receiver's hands, in the air, and intercepted by Huss along the near sideline, then out of bounds.
Credit the interception to Justin Marlin.
Dean Davis, the intended receiver, and the ball went in and out of 84's hands. And Huss comes away with the interception. But unfortunately, too little, too late. Young guys getting an opportunity to play here, trying to make the big plays, trying to get a little bit more playing time as the season progresses. That's a key part of the game right now for these young guys. I mean, they're out there on the field. Sure, it might be a 67-0 score right now, but these guys are out there trying to earn playing time, maybe a little bit more in practice, and trying to see more game time action. And this is where they have to kind of earn that time, so to speak. First and 10 for Huss. Well, they're late getting a guy on the field. Durham tried to hand off. Nobody was there, and he's crushed back at the 40-yard line. That's a loss of at least 5, but a marker on the field. But illegal substitution penalty coming up here against us.
Brandon Sullivan on the tackle.
Well, while we've got the opportunity, let's go back to studio control and Tim Foster. Tim, you have an update from anywhere in the sports world.
Well, thanks a lot, Fabian. Trying to get some stuff here for you. Tony Stewart won the pole qualifying a little bit earlier today for the Goodies 500, I believe, or something in that area for tomorrow. Some other scores: Dorman leading Lawrence 20-7, fourth quarter. Bowling Springs 35, Broome 15 in the fourth. We still haven't got a Spartanburg Union update. Northwestern leading Fort Mill 14-0 in the fourth. And one score from North Carolina, Gaffney's opponent next week, Kings Mountain, beat East Gaston 21-7 this evening. Back to you, Fabian.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Here, 67-0, Gaffney fourth quarter. Huss with a football. 5-yard penalty marched off. 2nd and 15 for the Huskies from their 40. Here's a toss right side to Tate, trying to sweep the right side. Strung out, running for his life in the backfield and tackled inside the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Kerry Allen and Terrence Savage right over him.
I mean, he got whammy to the turf that time, and one gets up just absolutely frustrated. Well, as Tim told us a few moments ago, Kings Mountain, a 21-7 winner over East Gaston tonight. So that'll be a matchup of teams winning their openers 1 week from tonight. 7:30 kickoff, airtime 7 from Mountaineer Country. Gaffney and Kings Mountain had played for several years as part of the Cherokee County Classic Jamboree that the Indians hosted. But since they were on the regular season schedule this year, Kings Mountain did come down and participate, but did not play Gaffney. In fact, played Dorman. So 3rd down and 21. Nearly a quarter of the football field to go. Durham a snap, running the option behind the left side, being strung out, tries a stiff arm, a tackler at the line of scrimmage, and hauled down after a gain of maybe 2 up to the 35-yard line. So 4th down and about 18 coming up here for the Huskies.
Just wrestled to the ground by just Stephen Tate of the Indians.
Well, 67-0. Game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe. Gaffney, where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. Gaffney tonight, 42 points off of Huss turnovers. 42 of the 67 points. Jamar Montgomery, deep safety for the Tribe, waiting to return this punt. Low snap, but he gets it away, and this awkward punt, drifting to the right sideline, up to the 50-yard line and out of bounds. So we're talking a 15, 16-yard punt. Off of the foot of Brandon Perry, a 5'8" sophomore. 67-0 somewhere in the 4th quarter here. Game time being kept on the field. Just absolute domination in this series by Gaffney. This is the 6th meeting. Gaffney has won the previous 5. 295-34 is the all-time score in this series. Fred Littlejohn remains in at quarterback, 1 up under center, slot to the right. Penalty markers on the turf as the ball snapped. Pitch back, errant loose in the field. Still loose near sideline to Gaffney sideline, and Huss is recovered at the 38-yard line. But let's check the markers. We've got 2 on the field. I think this one's going to be against us. Mike Biddix, our defensive coordinator, is mustering the unit on the home
I've got
side.
illegal procedure. On the black, that'll be declined. 1st down, white.
I wonder what that alarm was going off on the watch.
Well,
of, Philip Williams.
That's his clock.
Yes.
That's the game clock.
I thought that might be it. Nope. Well, he resets. So Huss.
Reset the Casio.
Yeah, takes possession down at the Gaffney 39-yard line. 295-34, though, the all-time scoring in this series, as I said prior to that play. But if you're a Huss fan, you have to remember 2 years ago you got drilled 76-0 here and came back and even advanced to the North Carolina State playoffs. Losing in the opening round, the Huskies last year 3-8. And now a timeout here. What have we got? Nope, we're going to try it again. Now we had official blow his whistle. And what have we got? Something wrong with the right defensive end for us. Got to buckle that chin strap.
I think he was having problems with the chin strap.
I'll get it buckled there. Gaffney changing really not noticeable from the stands. But Gaffney this year going with a little bit more, I guess, pizzazz in the old helmets instead of that flat black paint job. Have a little bit of metallic touch to him this year. Durham faking to the fullback, running the option behind the right side, turns the corner down to the 30-yard line, picks up nearly 9 yards, stays in bounds, clock continues to run.
Sort of hammered by Brian Tate.
Of course, going back to the schedule, we stopped with Lawrence, but we opened region play on the 24th, taking on Burns. Of course, Tony Lane, the quarterback, and the wide receiver Darrell Robinson are gone, but as Coach Montgomery talked about this week, he doesn't think Burns is going to have a problem reloading. They've got Benny Wright returning, and that's a kid that rushed for nearly 1,000 yards and 12 scores last year in a spread pass attack. Second and short, Durham turns and gives it off to the fullback, Jermaine Brown, inside handoff, and 44 has the first down. Pushes the pile inside the 26. And so Burns, the 24th, and then Rock Hill comes here on the 1st. Then go to Dorman. A lot of people picking the Cavaliers to perhaps win the Region 2 4A championship this year, but Gaffney will have something to say about that. Curtis Nash, the quarterback, returning for the Cavaliers, and running back Jamal Nelson. Durham gets the snap for Huss, trying to run the option behind the right side, cuts back against the grain, down to the 20, and tackled near the 19-yard line, gain of 6.
And a stop by Brian Tate. Oh, I heard the PA announcer make an announcement about the Spartanburg Union game, but unable to pick up the exact score. Tim Foster, let's go back to you for a second and see if you have anything on that.
Okay, thank you, Dennis Fowler. I was getting ready to page you right as you were speaking. I do have a final on that game. It was Spartanburg losing tonight to Union. Union beats them 14-7, and one other final, Dorman beats Lawrence 34-10. Back to you at the reservation.
All right, so Spartanburg loses their opener. 14-7, Union beats them.
And that's the end of the ball game here. Sorry to make it sound so sudden, but well, with the clock being, or game time being kept on the field, we were waiting for the referee, and that's it. So the season opener is in the books for the Huskies and the Indians, and all Gaffney tonight. Your final score, Gaffney 67 and Hunter Huss 0. The postgame show from the reservation. When we return, this is Gaffney Indian football.
It's been one of the hottest summers ever, and there's plenty of hot weather ahead, so it's not too late to install a Bryant high-efficiency cooling system with your choice of economical gas heat or the energy-efficient heat pump. Call Johnny Childress at 489-4416 and be nice and comfortable during the dog days of summer and be prepared for the cold weather ahead. It's a great combination, Childress Heating and Air Conditioning along with Bryant. Again, that's Childress Heating and Air Conditioning, 340 East Baker Boulevard in Gaffney, your local Bryant dealer. Childress Heating and Air Conditioning of Gaffney. It's the free furniture sale going on now at Brown Furniture Company in downtown Gaffney, and here's how it works. For every $1 you spend on furniture, you get $1 in free furniture. For example, purchase a new living room group for $800, Brown Furniture will give you another $800 worth of free furniture. The larger your purchase, the more you'll get free. Save on brand names like Spring Air, Roy Hill, Sharp, Ashley, RCA, GE, and Frigidaire. Hurry in tomorrow and save on furniture, appliances, electronics, and bedding during the free furniture sale from Brown Furniture Company, 113 East Frederick Street, downtown Gaffney.
Baskin-Robbins says, blast them away, Indians. Just like the Indians, you too can enjoy a blast. A cappuccino, mocha, or chocolate blast, made with your choice of ice cream and topping. Treat yourself to one of the smoothies made with truly free yogurt and fresh fruits. If you really want to indulge yourself, try our 2-scoop sundae or banana split. Baskin-Robbins is the world's largest chain of ice cream specialty shops, and 2 of them are located right here in Gaffney on Baker Boulevard and Nancy Creek Road. For your birthday, football, or specialty ice cream cake orders, call 487-3131.
Awarded Best Play-by-Play in South Carolina by the Associated Press. This is WAGI 105.3 FM, Gaffney, Spartanburg, Greenville.
Back at the reservation tonight, Dennis Fowler along with Fabian Fuentes and Claudia Jordan, 67-0. The Indians shut out the Hunter Huss Huskies in their opener for 1999. With a brief game summary, let's quickly go over to Fabian Fuentes, and it's brought to you by Fats Cafe, located at the intersection of I-85 and Road 82 in Gaffney, and that's where you're going to find that great calabash chicken.
Yeah, turnovers and special teams key tonight. 42 of Gaffney's 67 points coming off of Hunter Huss touchdowns. The Indians also had a 35-yard scoring drive set up thanks to a 60-yard kickoff return. And you also had one punt return of 66 yards for a touchdown tonight. So special teams and turnovers keying the way for Gaffney tonight. About the only mystery left of the evening is when they will come to work on the WSPA helicopter.
That could be a while. Obviously, it's not going to happen right away because it's still sitting over there. And I don't think they're going to wait on the footage to get to Spartanburg because they've gone on the ground.
I got excited because with the games being on TV tape delay, I thought that was going to be our version of the blimp. Aerial view of the reservation.
Let's go down and join Lonnie Jordan standing by with Coach Joe Montgomery in the post-game show.
All right, guys, we're down here with Gaffney High head coach Joe Montgomery. Congratulated by Principal Bill James here. Bill, how you doing?
Doing great.
All right.
Kids look really good.
Coach, it's good to get that. It's good to get that first win under your belt, isn't it?
Well, you know, we started out a little bit shaky, and but you know, kids played well, both sides of the ball. But you know, Hunter Huss is way down. They're rebuilding, and you know, they've got 2 or 3 good players that really just didn't make the plays that I thought that they could have made, having watched them on film. But you know, a lot of that maybe it's due to our kids. But you know, it gets a lot tougher. You know, the Union Spartanburg score we heard, and then I know Kings Mountain's got a good football team. So you know, it's a whole different story from here on out, Connie.
That was going to be one of my next questions, Coach. How do you get the kids to realize that, sure, yeah, this was a blowout, but it gets a lot tougher?
Well, you know, one thing, our kids are intelligent enough football-wise to realize, you know, when they're watching film exactly what's going on. And they realize they played a lot of young kids. You know, Hunter Huss played a lot of 10th graders out there. But, you know, we played everybody on the field that we could play. I don't know who didn't get to play. I think everybody did. And, you know, that's good for our team in the first game, but because some of them may not get a chance to play for a while, especially with the schedule coming up.
And that's one of the good things about building up a big lead, and you can run some kids in and out there and try some things that you wouldn't otherwise get to try.
Yeah, absolutely, Connie. And yeah, plus it gives us a chance to evaluate some, especially up in the offensive line, and get a little bit better idea really who our starting 5 should be if we're not correct right now. So, you know, that's going to help us, I think.
Well, we were impressed, especially with the defense. When it was a close game early, and they stopped them 4 times inside our 10 down there, and then that seemed to be, it seemed to just get out of control from that point.
Well, I think that's kind of, you know, they had a chance to score and put some points on the board and at least get back in the ball game. But you know, our kids played really physical, and you know, I'm just real proud of the way that they played the whole game. Played with class. You know, they didn't do anything that would embarrass us at any time. A good, solid, physical football game. And you know, once you get ahead, sometimes they want to lose their cool and see so much stuff on TV nowadays that they start acting like, you know, like they shouldn't. But our kids didn't act like that, and I'm real proud of them.
Where do we look good, and where do we maybe not look so good, do you think?
Well, Connie, you know, the skill kids look good, but, you know, we dropped some balls dead in our hands. That's going to hurt us. You know, when you get a chance to throw the football and catch it, you better catch it, especially in the league that we play in. So, you know, I think that's an area. But, you know, until I evaluate the film, you know, Connie, if you win 67-0, you probably look good in a lot of places.
All right. Coach, next week, Kings Mountain, any changes?
Connie, we always have changes. I mean, you can't go out and do the same thing that you just did tonight. I mean, Ron Massey and his coaches are excellent coaches. You know, you can't go out and a lot of the formations, a lot of the things that you do. I mean, you got to change. You have to change every week. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can make some changes, be a better football team. Kings Mountain's a lot better football team. That's going to be a great series for us because Ron Massey has really rebuilt that program, and you know, he took them to the state championship last year and the state runner-up. So. And quite frankly, Ron Massey called me to play. So, you know, when somebody calls us to play, you know, they think they got a good football team.
And I think they beat East Gastonia tonight 21-7. I think it was the score up there. Coach, this was your 86th victory as head coach of the Indians. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you very much, Connie.
All right, guys, back up to the booth.
When we come back, we'll talk about halftime, the final game statistics after the second half, and even more as we discuss next week's game with the Kings Mountain Mountaineers here on the Upstate Power Station as we continue. This is Gaffney and the Football.
Your sports connection.